hit the recording button. All right, welcome everyone. It's been a little bit. Glad we're all back together.
Yeah.
Last session, near the end of last session, you made your way out from Mirage, headed toward Althra to both investigate some goings-on with the Gemcutter Society, as well as to pass through Althra on your way north up to the sister of Fehu, to try and acquire a lost item for her. Along the way, you found what remained of the Gemcutter Society caravan and discovered that they were likely ambushed by a set of young purple worms, and discovered this by having been ambushed by purple worms yourselves. Luckily, you were able to defend yourselves fairly well, and have just gotten back on the road, headed toward Althra once again. It's pretty close to due midnight at this point. Probably pretty tired from the day before, so y'all can keep moving down the road. A lot of people in the desert tend to travel at night because it is cooler, and then make camp during the day, try and take advantage of some shade. Or some people like to camp at night because it's hard to see, so keeping themselves safe and being able to travel in the daylight is more useful to them. But as of right now, you've just gotten back on the road after your ordeal and subsequent investigation of the Gemcutter Society caravans. So, what would you all like to do?
So, I think Hassan will pose up the question. I guess it's been kind of silent since they just left the burning remains of another caravan that's been completely destroyed. So, do we believe that we've made it far enough away, such that we can make camp? Or should we be making camp? How far away is the day? Is daylight?
Like another 5 hours.
Yeah, I said it was getting close to midnight, so yeah, probably close to 5-ish hours.
Okay.
The nights are short, but not instantaneous.
Yeah.
And how far do we think from Althra?
So Althra's a 2 days travel normal pace, about a day and a half if you rush it, or less if you go slower and more carefully. At this point, you're probably close to a day's travel out. So like nearing the halfway point.
Pashmina kind of shakes her head and is like, we didn't get all of the worms, so I don't think it's a good idea.
That is true.
Hey, DM, I messaged you real quick.
Oh, no, sorry. I know.
Okay.
Sorry, I missed. Sorry, and I kind of missed you under the music. Sorry, can you say that one more time?
Pashmina shakes her head and says, we didn't really get all of the worms, so it's not a good idea. We'll be vulnerable if we stop now.
Farther along we go then. He said, and just sort of retreats back into silence, scribbling in his journal.
Pashmina takes out the journal that matches your journal, and starts writing to you.
Oh, what's she writing?
She says, I'm scared.
Yes, me as well.
And then she writes, I'm not sure if the cards are a good thing anymore.
Hassan stews for a moment. I understand your feelings, and I have my own reasons to not believe. Well, I have my own reasons to believe that there is more to Fehu than to the matron that more to the good matron than meets the eye, or to what she says. I do believe that there is definitely there is more to her story and to our mission than simply what she tells us. As for the cards, I believe we should hold on to them, even if for a little while longer, until I can perhaps study them a bit more. Maybe in Althra.
Peshmina reads through it and then thinks.
If we're, the writing will continue. If we are to face consistent danger from both nature and from sentient life, and from our fellow dwellers, desert dwellers, then we best hoard whatever resources we can to use to defend ourselves.
Peshmina writes back, what if what happens to the gem cutters happens to us while we're holding the cards and no one can find us?
He thinks for a moment. I don't believe that the people who would be looking for us would be. I don't believe that the people who would be looking for us would have any good intentions either way.
Peshmina just kind of mulls that over and then gives a subtle nod and just writes back, okay. Shuts the journal.
Heisan closes the book, hoping that he didn't maybe make them a bit too, I don't know. I hope he just didn't worsen their whatever fears they might have had.
No, if anything, she's just she looks a little more reassured. She just doesn't have anything else to say.
And he's gonna go into his other journal, and sorry, Cole, I know I haven't exactly developed a lot of character I haven't developed too much of the archivist character Toshi, but he'll write to his brother hello Toshi, forgive me for my long quiet, I suppose. It has been a while since I've written to you, and I do apologize for that. But I write to you today with a small request. Should you against probability find a point of relaxation between your tasks, if you could look up in any sort of records the name Matron Fehu, that would be of great import to me. My own safety may rely upon it.
You don't get an immediate response.
Yeah. Then he will just sigh and close his notebook.
All right.
How is Heisan will, I guess, poke his head out. Is everything well out here?
Everything's fine. Oh boy, that wasn't good.
I thought it was great.
Oh, that was fine.
That hurt my voice. It usually doesn't.
Careful. Gotta get back in practice.
I know.
And Zoran?
I think Caroline hopped out to the bathroom.
Oh,
real
right.
quick.
Yeah, I think
Oh, right. They did.
Zaron's totally passed out. I don't know. He's just kind of gone right now. We're not gonna worry about it too much. I've been poking him, and he's just not responding. He's not bad, so that's good.
Just like see faint bulges from faint bulges and like vein bulges from from Zoran, but I don't know. I'm sure they will.
Loka, when we were driving before the encounter, you were driving the cart, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. You may continue to be doing so, if you so desire, and heading. Just kind of, I assume y'all are continuing to follow the road.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to continue to make a check
Nope.
or anything?
The first one's good enough. Millie, it was basically just a check to get Millie to trust you. Like I said before, Millie's a very docile animal. She's like, she just needs to make sure that she'll follow you, and she can't do anything super fancy, but she'll pull the cart. She seems a little more skittish after this particular encounter, but if anything, that's better for y'all. Because her giant fennec ears are very good at hearing at long distances.
Swiveling around.
Yeah.
Although I'm just, yeah.
Would you like to make any adjustments to pace? As far as getting there, you can try and rush it and maybe make it like just after dawn if you don't rest. Or you can make it at normal pace, or I'll present this as an option. If you slow down, since we're dealing in halves and doubles, to roughly half pace, someone can drive and continue moving while others attempt to rest and sleep on the cart.
I actually like that a lot.
I'm fine with that.
You do have the advantage of a cart, which is
Yeah.
nice. So you have some
All
amount
right.
of portable shelter. It's not super comfortable. It's not going to be the best rest, but if you slow down enough so that you're not going over bumpy rocks every few seconds, then you should be able to manage well enough to rest.
It'll
That's
remind
fine
me-
by me.
It'll remind me of sleeping in the ocean. The gentle.
the gentle
Gentle
hitting a
rock.
sand desert rock every couple of minutes.
Do not mind this, my friends. There's just a small pothole in the road.
Kush, kush, konk, kush, konk.
What the fuck is that?
In that case, who would like to do some driving?
I'm gonna assume it's gonna be me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real here.
You certainly may.
Alright, in that case, Loka's gonna go cuddle up in the back. I don't know what he's cuddling up with, but he
With Puppy?
Oh my god, that's right, he has Puppy.
Puppy pillow.
We can never forget Puppy.
I literally just did.
That's really good.
I'm so fucking ashamed.
Understandable.
How was Puppy after that little skirmish? Is Puppy just not
Puppy didn't notice.
Puppy! Puppy!
Puppy was asleep.
Yeah, it's
fucking
fine.
no thoughts, head empty?
Head- yeah. Puppy is incapable of thought. Like, if you tried to do speak with animals with Puppy, you would just get nothing, not because your spell didn't work, just because Puppy has no thoughts.
No, it would be like the dumbest song playing on repeat in their head.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait, I have a song.
It's the fucking
I have a
daycare
song.
theme from the new Five Nights at Freddy's game.
Yeah,
I know
so-
exactly the song.
Yeah, Loka's gonna go fucking take a nap.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's hurt.
I'm gonna drop this. I know for a fact it would be the song.
Oh god, what is this?
Alright, I'll listen to it on stream.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It's Wheatley Crab.
Yep. Yep.
That's what's going on in Puppy's brain at any given point in time. Excellent.
I'm so glad.
Mental headphones on that little boy.
Absolutely.
Volume up
He's
and
constantly
watch
bobbing
this.
his head, and we don't know why.
Yeah. Relevant for you, Zeron. Sleep and rest are different things. So you can definitely be keeping watch, but driving Millie does take some amount of effort. So you'll probably need to swap out just to, like, chill.
Totally fine.
Yeah, okay, cool. A little
I'm
bit
fine
later.
with that, yeah. Yeah.
Luckily, it's fairly easy to see in the desert because, as you see high in the sky at this point, Gaiul's 2 moons are reflecting light very strongly down onto the desert sands.
Gotcha.
Without the cover of trees or any other kind of foliage. The desert's, like, pretty bright during the night still. Alright. So yeah, if everyone should choose Zeron, you can keep driving while everyone kind of adjusts,
Take a little nap.
gets stuff figured out.
Sure. I'll do the first funny drive.
Yeah, so once most folks have settled down and it's gotten a lot more quiet, it's just the sounds of the road and Millie, and you're paying attention, Zeron, trying to make sure that everyone stays on the road. Give me a perception check.
Perception?
Yes.
Sure. Okay. 13.
13's pretty good. You keep driving, and you kind of get over one of the larger dunes, and a point of light nearby catches your eye. Specifically a flickering flame. And after having caught your eye, if you turn to look at it, you can see that it looks like a figure, like a humanoid figure, just made of fire, like a pyre almost, some kind of like burning scarecrow almost. And you notice just as soon as you see enough of it to recognize that is what it is, it just kind of like wisps out into smoke. And I would like you to roll on the funny table.
Oh boy.
With advantage. So roll 2d20
With advantage?
and you get to pick which one.
Okay, so okay, yeah, sure. Why not? Alright, first number is 95, which
95?
is really high.
Okay.
That would be very funny. That one would be very funny. And the second one is... Oh. Huh. This would also be funny. The other one was a 4.
The other one was a 4. Okay, yeah, you get to pick between those two.
I don't know which one I like better.
So...
Huh.
I'll let you in on some soft consequences beforehand.
Okay.
The consequences of 5 are self-apparent. The consequences of 95 is the cart will stop, and everyone inside's probably going to get woken up.
Yeah. But number 4 is also very funny, because I don't know how you're going to take it, which is the best bit. Do I want to do it though?
Flip a coin.
All right, I'm gonna roll a d20. Odd number, it's going to be 4. Even number, it's going to be 95.
Okay.
It's an odd number.
Okay.
I'll choose number 4.
Yeah, so you see this figure blink out of existence, and
boy.
you hear a soft chime from your lantern. Like someone had rung a little bell inside of it, and you blink a few times, and your vision is different.
Oh.
It doesn't help you see in the dark. It doesn't help you not see in the dark. Nothing about your senses have changed, but it's almost like your eyes feel like they're a different shape.
Okay. Hold on. Do I have this item in my inventory? I do not. This is like one thing I feel like they would have too. Is there any way that like I can check my reflection in anything shiny I have on?
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you've got like a falchion or
I have a few daggers.
Yeah, one you can polish one up enough to probably see a reflection in it. Yeah, so kind of squinting, doing a little bit of effort while also making sure that Millie doesn't go off the road. And you notice that your pupils are more vertical. And there's like a little bit more of an oblong shape to your individual eye sockets. They look a little bit they look foxier is what they look like.
Ah, gotcha. Got it. Okay.
It's subtle, but it's there.
Mm-hmm. Got it. I'll take it. You know what? I'll take it. It could have been way worse.
It's your first time.
It's the first time. It could have been way worse.
So you continue driving down the road. It's
Yeah.
make it a solid ways, uneventful passage for the rest of you. The collective four of you feel free to take a long rest, mechanically. And maybe close to 6-ish hours into it, you can like just start to see the moons are starting to go down. Twilight is actually the darkest time for the desert because neither the sun nor the moons are really around to illuminate the sand. But in this kind of like early morning dim illumination is about the time your user on are probably going to need a little bit of a rest.
Mm-hmm. All right. Who's the closest to me right now? I'm looking at Tail's Spire. Whoops. I guess it would. Well, Loca's in the back now.
Loca's
right?
curled up with Puppy.
In the back. Okay, so I guess it would be Heisan. From what it looks like. So, yeah, I will. Zoran will kind of lean back a bit and just kind of like put a hand on Heisan's like shoulder, like back of their head, like the first thing that they can reach, and just kind of give like a late like nudge, like a late like shuffle to try and stir them awake.
Heisan will slowly, I guess, come to and look up and say, "Morning already?"
And just
no.
Zoran looks out and there's just no light, and he's like, "Yeah." No. Rise and shine, my good feathered friend.
Looks out, still dark, huh? I see we are still going. I suppose you need to sleep then?
That would be enjoyable. However, I do not require sleep. It would be nice to at least rest up even a little bit.
Yeah. Heisan, if he had eyebrows, they would be... one would be raised. He just all you really is that he just sort of tilts his head to the side a moment. You're an odd creature. I cannot make heads or tails of you. Sure, if you do not require sleep then. But if you wish to rest, I will see if I can't wrangle our timid fox for you for a few hours.
'Twould be much appreciated. Thank you.
Very well. Enjoy your rest, Heisan says, just sort of coming out and, like, nervously taking the reins from him. If the vagrants of the Kenku can do it, why can't I?
It's a good question. I wasn't gonna make you roll for this, but I am now.
That's funny.
So go ahead. We're looking for a DC 5 animal handling.
Let's do it.
Oh no.
And Zoran, you can help if you want to.
It's funnier
yeah,
if you don't.
I would have probably spent like a good 2 minutes being like, okay, this is just how I've been keeping the cart. As long as you don't really do much with it, you'll be fine. You really don't even have to be like, yeah.
No, Millie gets it.
They would have walked through.
Millie is getting tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Because while one of you does not have to sleep, Phoenix do have to sleep.
Yeah.
So she's been running all night. Mostly, that first bit, definitely running off of adrenaline, primarily. But at this point, her long twitch muscles are starting to slow down. Doesn't necessarily need to break just yet, but will need to soon.
I did roll a natural 20 there.
Nice!
To advantage.
Yeah. For once, book learning pays off. You have read about how to manage beasts of burden, and you know what? That book was right.
They really knew what they were writing about. Wow.
Yeah.
It's just that easy.
And I think with that, you can tell, with all the things I said about Millie being tired, and also kind of can get a good bead on when she's going to need a rest. It's going to, basically the longer you wait, she's going to get more irritable. There's going to come a point where her irritation is going to exceed her ability to continue forward.
Yeah. Heisan will try to keep... Well, with a 20, I hope I can see when that happens.
Yes, absolutely. You've probably got another 3 hours of travel at this pace with her. And the rest of you will have taken sufficient rest in that period of time so far. So yeah, as you take over the reins, Heisan, and continue driving, the morning sun comes up over the horizon. And you can see much further into the desert now that you are given the light of day as you continue along this path.
Mm-hmm.
It is very bright. Especially coming off of the sands at such a low angle. If you're looking directly towards the sun, it's practically blinding. As tends to happen in large deserts. But as long as you keep moving, and it's fairly to your backs and sides, as has been determined by the position on this map for some reason. So you're not being blinded on your way to Althra. You've got probably, since you were going half pace through the night, but you'd never stopped, at normal pace, 3/4 of a day's travel yet. You could get there sooner if you wanted to double pace it, but Millie's tired.
Yeah. Heisan's not gonna push Millie at all.
Sounds reasonable. And as the sun comes over the horizon, I imagine it starts to wake some of the others.
Ishmina just grows and turns over away from the sun.
Heisan's not going to wake anybody up as he brings the cart to a stop, I think. I think he's going to just hop out of the cart and start tending to Millie's reins and start trying to remove them.
Yeah,
A little
absolutely. She's definitively grateful. And with the 20, you remember how to do all of that, too.
Yay.
So, yeah. Taking care of giant fennec foxes, by the book.
Yeah. Give him little coffee bean treats.
Yes. They do love
Bean treats.
funky little treats. But yeah, she just looks like she really needs like some food and water and a nap.
Yeah.
You're at a standstill now.
Yeah, Pashmina kind of sits up, realizing that they're stopped, and is like, everything okay?
Everything is fine. Millie needs a rest. I believe we're going to be here for a little while. We may. I know we have been resting, but this one needs a rest now.
Yeah. Pashmina hops out and also gives Millie a pat.
Millie just gives kind of a and like flops over into the sand.
Yes. I hope you were able to rest at least a little and rest well. That's good at the very least. I don't think we'll be having any, or at least I hope we won't be having any sort of interruptions. Heisan looks at the sands below them.
It's sand.
Yep, it sure is sand. It was
Very sandy out here.
Sand today, sand yesterday.
You may make a perception check if you would like to.
I would love to.
Please do. As you have come to rest for a bit.
Where's my perception? There it is. 16.
16. Yeah, so you're at a rest. Sun's coming up fairly well. Sun's to your back as you're headed to Althra up north. And you can see most of the roadway between you and Althra. You can see some kind of like haze in the distance over some dunes that you think is probably the city, but can't quite make that out. But some ways down the road between you and your destination, you can see another party of travelers headed your direction. 16? You can tell that it's a fairly large group. Probably like 2 carts, 4 animals, it looks like, and a number of individuals, and they appear to be flying a flag or a pennant of some kind. But at this distance, you can't tell what kind of crest or markings those pennants bear.
Sorry, 1 second. Food.
Food. Food.
Speaking of, we probably need to use a ration. Like a portion of a ration.
Yeah, once you, if you want to make camp or eat or something like that in the meantime, and grab some rations, grab some water. You did get an ever-flowing flask, so you've got water covered.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Pashmina, make sure that Millie gets some water.
Yeah, absolutely. Millie's very used to, like, whenever Millie gets lent out, they almost always give whoever's going ever-flowing flasks, so she, like, sees the like, gleaming flask and knows the deal and is immediately just, like, mouth open, waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any, like, wild animals in the area?
Yeah.
Or... Okay.
There's, like a lot of desert wildlife, a lot of animals tend to be a lot more active at night rather than during the day, or in that kind of twilight state. But especially during the day, there's a lot of like little arthropods and some snakes and things like that, scorpions. There's a lot of as Millie is descended from small rodents that tend to skitter and make their homes among the rocks. If you wanted to try to find something nearby, you probably could. But yeah, for the most part, it's not a lot of big stuff around, especially this close to the road.
Okay. I was just wondering if there's something like nearby that Millie could eat. Or are they just going to share in our ration?
Millie's an herbivore.
Okay, is an herbivore.
Yeah.
All right.
If you wanted to find,
anything
like,
are-
if you could find, yeah, because there's, like,
I could try looking, but I have a 1 in nature.
most
but why
of, yeah, go ahead and roll nature.
not? Millie, I'm so sorry in advance.
Tries to
Actually, not as bad as I thought it could be. It was a 15.
15. Okay.
I rolled a
So you
14.
probably-
Yeah.
You probably won't poison.
You probably won't
Hopefully
poison
will not.
the very nice fennec fox, no. So, actually, she's sleepy. Bonk.
Aww.
Yeah, so, you know that, like, giant fennec foxes tend to eat, a lot of dried material, like domesticated ones at least, which is the vast majority of the familiarity you have. The biggest thing, like most animals and creatures in general, is they tend to flock either around oases or near cliff sides or coasts. And you're kind of smack dab in the middle of the desert right now.
Yeah.
That said, if you did some scrounging, you could definitely find some, like, wild kind of rough scrub, like scrub herbs and things like of the like that are like tough and chewy, but like roughage that she would be interested in and familiar with. You probably don't know exactly what it is or why they like it, but you could find some green stuff nearby and she'll probably like it.
Mm-hmm. I think they'll definitely try just because they don't know what else to give. They don't know if they're just going to eat any of, like, the non-meat portions of the rations.
Yeah,
So...
I think mechanically speaking, rations are abstracted enough that we can just say that they contain supplies that Millie would be able to consume. But this will definitely save you on spending some of those supplies for Millie.
I mean, yeah, why
I'd
not?
say with a 16, yeah, you can spend, like, I don't know, like 20 minutes or so, like, finding some snacks.
Absolutely.
Millie
Yep.
snacks.
Tumbleweeds. It's like a Cheeto Puff for giant fennec foxes.
Oh.
A delicacy.
Excellent.
And then how far was the other party?
A ways down the road. In distance, probably like 1,500, 2,000 feet. Time-wise, like an hour, a couple hours.
Okay. I didn't
Hassan,
hear
have you
that part.
mentioned?
That's why I
I was
asked
going to say,
that.
Hassan, have you mentioned that to anyone?
Sorry, one more time. Have I mentioned what to anybody?
That you've spotted this party some ways down the road.
No, let's see. Not immediately, no.
Sure.
I think Hassan will just, like, sort of stare at them for a while and wonder what they could possibly... And wonder if it's, like, a trading caravan before just saying to others, sorry, I hate to bother everybody. It appears we might be having visitors soon. I can see another party out in the distance making their way towards us. Or rather, we happen to be on the same road as them. And and Cole, you didn't say there were any, like, I couldn't recognize any, like, what it might belong to, just that they are making their way.
Correct. They are flying a flag of some kind, but you can't make out what that could be from here.
Can't quite tell who they are, but just know that we will be seeing others eventually, soon.
I'd like Peshmina to try and discern what the flag is.
Yeah, absolutely. You can both... So it's going to be very difficult at this distance. You can also wait.
Yeah.
You can also make that check again later. But yeah, feel
I'll
free.
just do it now.
Zoran, you're going to have advantage on this.
Okay.
What kind of check?
Thank you.
History. Or sorry, no,
Oh,
that history...
history?
Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Just perception.
Okay.
To try and see if you can make out what it is. It would be
panic.
history if then you could see what it was and attempt to make out its meaning.
All right. I have my rolls.
I rolled a 5.
Nice.
I rolled a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
I rolled a 17 and I have a +3.
That's very good. Okay, so...
Man, I wish we had rolled history.
yeah, so Pejmina, those are definitely flags. This much
Yeah,
you know. And they're
Don't
not.
worry, the other roll was a 5.
They're not pennants. They're not banners. These are flags.
Flags. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And that's important. It's important
Yeah.
that they're flags.
That is, yeah.
Zoran, you can make out, kind of vaguely, just enough with your new fun eyes. You can see what these individual pennants are bearing. So it's not a symbol as like, it's not like bearing a crest or something like that. But it's a long triangular flag that appears to be woven together of a bunch of different colors and maybe even different materials. You, as you're home, you're kind of like running through your head because you rolled a dirty 20 on like kind of what because they're coming from Elthra, so you can kind of figure out that it's probably one of those, and then you remember that this is the pennant symbol, the flag representational flag of one of the major noble houses, specifically House Tenon.
Oh. Interesting. They are a ways from home now.
Is their home Althra?
Very much so. And they just look to be deep in thought.
Do I have to roll anything to notice your eyes?
If you want.
I
don't know what you would have
Up to you,
but
Zoran.
I don't care.
Because Zoran, you're not attempting to like conceal them in any way, right?
Not currently, no.
Yeah, then I would just say, broadly speaking, given an amount of time around Zoran greater than like 5 minutes, like you just notice. It is apparent. It is visually apparent that this person now has fox eyes.
Peshmina, like, she turns back to talk to you, and then turns back again, and is like, "Did you do your makeup differently this morning?"
I think this catches them off guard completely. And, like, they just kind of, like, stop and just kind of, like, blink back to reality and just look to you, and they're just like, "No, is there something on my face? Goodness, do I look all right?"
It looks fine. It looks cool. You really didn't do anything different.
No, not at all.
Peshmina just shrugs.
Well, by any means, interesting. Okay.
You should look in a mirror the next chance you get. It looks interesting.
I would love to, but unfortunately I do not have one in possession. Major oversight on my part, actually.
Well, we can almost definitely find one in Althra.
Oh, absolutely, we can.
All right.
Wonderful.
Loka, did stopping the cart and the sun coming over wake you even remotely, or are you still conked out in the back with Puppy?
I've been thinking about that too.
Good.
I can't decide whether or not he's completely zonked, or he is awake and grumpy about it and he isn't moving.
Reasonable.
I
Well,
think either way, he's still in the cart.
gotcha. Yeah, so for the next, Millie just needs a few hours of rest. So, if she stays here and y'all hang out for a bit, that caravan that you see in the distance is probably going to meet up with you while you're by the side of the road resting. You've got basically any amount of lead time you want if you attempt to. They are very obviously not like a bandit train. Like this seems to be some, as they come closer, especially like it seems, some kind of emissary, some officials, some kind of detachment.
I think mostly Peshmina just makes sure that they're not like hogging the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just pulling the cart a little bit to the side to make sure that you can make room. Sure. Yeah. In that case, in say 90 minutes or so, you can start to more clearly hear the shifting, shuffling of fennec foxes pulling carts through the sands in the distance and over rocks and across the roads.
Ada.
Yes?
They just did BRB.
Ah.
Oh.
I do have one thing I actually would like to do
Yeah.
before they get here, but the one character that I know would make banter about it just left for a bit. So
You can
I'm
wait
just
for a
like,
moment.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
Wonderful. There's just one funny that I would like to do.
Absolutely. Then I think in the meantime, Millie has woken from her nap and is taking some time to feed and water. And is really just munching down on this greenery that you have assembled for her. And she definitely seems tired. Like, she could definitely use more rest if given the opportunity. But she's definitely, like, healthy enough and motivated enough to actually make it to Althra at this point.
I think also, after about 90 more minutes, Loka would probably be awake.
God.
For sure, but definitely not out of the cart.
Yes.
Just, like, hanging out in there trying to escape the
Understandable.
sun.
There is, to your comfort, has been continuing to be increasingly dry, and you do continue to be ever moist. But there is a flask of an ever-flowing flask of water if you want, like a drink.
Does the sand just like stick to you uncut? Like you just kind of sticky.
I mean,
It's just a
unfortunately, probably.
sheen.
The bottom of your flippers are very itchy when walking through the desert at any given point in time.
Oh.
Bless.
Is that when you're like, you just got out of the ocean, you're walking across the sand to like get back to your place and all the sand
Yes.
sticks to your feet?
Exactly that.
And it's just uncomfortable, especially when you just hit stone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little sandy fishy man.
Gross. Gross. Gross.
Now you know how I feel.
Alright. Hold on, I need to.
Are you back, hey son?
Yes, I am. Sorry. Brief call from the pap.
Aha. So, okay, while there's one thing that Zoran is going to do, that the only person that would make a comment about it is funnily Hasan.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think probably about like a good 30 minutes or so before like the other caravan gets there. It's just a very loud and then just like
A very loud what?
yawn.
Yawn.
A very long and brought out yawn from Zoran. Big stretch. And they announce, well, this is a perfect time for me to get my beauty sleep, unfortunately. If a lot of you do not mind watching the card to my stead, of course.
Hey, son. We'll give you a long look and not say anything. And we'll ask. And for what reason could you possibly need this sudden bout of sleep?
Look at me. I need my beauty sleep. And they kind of like, they gesture to themselves.
I believe you're already marvelous. I don't see what more it would do.
Oh, trust me. There's always room for improvement. But also, it's a little... Oh,
Sometimes
please.
you reach the pinnacle, you know what I mean?
I appreciate you saying that I have,
Oh,
but
no,
I
didn't mean
personally...
you. I'm just saying in general.
Ouch. Ouch. Little hurtful, I'll be honest. Secondly, I'll be honest, I'm not much of a fan of the desert sun on my lovely skin. So, I am going to take a brief respite, if the lot of you do not mind.
So be it. I'll make sure to pass our compliments on to our friends when they arrive.
Oh, but of
Pass your
course.
compliments.
Please. Please do. Oh, and if we could watch over something for me in the meantime. And they will kind of remove the actual lantern from the staff and set it down very, very gently onto the ground. Please do make sure this is well taken care of in my, well, absence, I should say.
Hey, Sutton looks very intently at the lantern. Says, "We'll make sure it's untouched and unmolested."
Much
You don't
appreciated.
want to store it in one of the chests? And kind of gestures to the cart. It's probably safer there.
I feel much safer when people have eyes on it. But if you would like to, you are more than welcome to. It's just very precious to me.
Ashmina nods in understanding.
And with that, I am going to take a nap. And they will tap the bottom of their staff twice against the wood. And with one final bow, they vanish.
Oh. What? That's not what I thought they meant.
There's a slight glow in the lantern, and then it dims immediately.
What an
Stay,
odd
son.
creature, that one. What a... So, if you do not mind, I'm going to begin, molesting the lantern.
Hey, yo!
Wait a minute.
Phrasing?
It's just like, do you know what's happening?
Oh, not a clue. That's what I mean to find out. This one is a very strange character. For as much as you two seem to get along, this one has a lot of secrets I can...
Oh. Do you think they're... And then just kind of like gestures like in the lantern?
Oh, yes. I believe that... Oh, yeah, and Hassan's just going to start, like, studying the lantern a bit. Can I try and... What? Fuck. Right. Bards don't have access to ritual casting, do they?
They should. I can look that up very quickly.
Yeah, because I can't tell. I know it's restricted to certain spellcasting classes.
I want to say they can. Also, the
I'm pretty sure they
troop
can.
is just a few minutes out at this point.
Okay.
Let me... So D&D Beyond to the rescue.
While this is happening, Pashmina does like whisper to Hassan, like, "Hey, we probably shouldn't let them see the lantern, right?"
If the one who requires no sleep is making an excuse for beating sleep, then I suggest that yes, they do not wish to be seen in any sense.
Yeah, pass it to me!
And mind you,
hey,
Luca has like his head poking out of the caravan and absolutely nothing else.
I will hand it to you in a moment, Loka, when they are closer. I'm sure you will treat it with good care.
Oh, of course!
Hassan looks to Pashmina. Do you trust him enough for that?
Do you promise not to let the people see it?
Oh, no, I won't let anybody see it.
Okay. Well, it's kind of like watching the cart with trepidation now.
I'm losing this lantern today, huh?
Oh no!
Oh boy.
Bards can cast spells as a ritual. They have ritual casting as a feat.
Dude,
Yeah, but you said they're only a few minutes out, so I wouldn't be able to get off a detect magic, would I?
you
that would
have
be-
detect magic on the lantern before.
Oh, right, I did.
You have done it before. I think I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah, no, so the
but...
ritual, because it's an action, let me check again. It takes 10 minutes longer to cast. Yeah, so it'll take 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And fuck.
You did just take a long rest if you really want to burn a slot on detect magic.
But no.
You certainly may. You do also... Oh, you don't have the gem for identify, correct?
I don't have the pearl. Yeah, that's one of my biggest hopes for all
Wait, did you
Ulthra.
need a gemstone?
A pearl, specifically, worth
sad.
an amount
That's
of money.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, so, yeah, the group is approaching, and you may choose to pass off the lantern to whomever you desire.
Okay.
Or hold it. Or hide it, bury it, who knows?
Just chuck it out into the desert. It'll be fine, it's sand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll have to study it later. Heisan will pick up the lantern and give it to Loka, who is currently in the cart.
Yes, perfect!
Look.
Encouraging. Yeah, so
sure nothing bad will happen.
at this distance now, just like a few hundred feet away, you can tell that this is clearly some sort of military convoy guard. They're clearly armed, and they appear to be organized. They're regimented. They clearly have a formation that they are moving in. And at this distance, Zoran, who did you tell anyone else that these people were from House Tenon?
No.
Okay, cool.
I don't think they did.
Then anyone who cares to
Sorry.
observe can go ahead and make a history check.
I'm good at these.
Funnily enough, so is Pashmina.
22.
22 is very good.
22.
22 is very good.
Ooh.
Then yeah, both of you know that these are the flags of House Tenon, one of the noble houses of Althra. One of the three there are some major and minor noble houses in Althra, but this is one of the three major noble houses in Althra. They tend to 22. I'm not going to give you the full lowdown, but I'll give you a couple things. The big one is just that they are their flag, which is a bunch of different colors and a bunch of different... It is actually woven of different fabrics, is because they control a large portion of the textile and dye trading in Althra. So it's like kind of a mark of their mercantile power as a house. And the other is that both of you remember that one of the job posters from Mirage was posted by a Sibella Tenon.
Oh, right.
And as they near, one in particular who is not just riding on a cart, but riding on the back of a fennec fox who has been kitted out with this more traditional saddle and reins, and they have a sword sheathed on one side of the fox. Kind of slow down as they approach, and this it's a mid-20s human man, kind of waves at the group, is just hey, well met, travelers.
Well met.
How goes it on the road today?
Could be. For the past couple hours have been smooth, though we were ambushed by worms.
Ooh.
I fear about half a day's travel downwards.
Yes,
Uh,
be very careful going forward. Are you
Poor
headed?
fortune.
Uh,
We'll keep an eye out. Thank you for the warning.
what direction are you going?
We're headed to Mirage.
Ah.
Where are you coming from?
Mirage.
Oh,
What
convenient.
might
So,
you be going there for?
yes, so we're actually we've gotten word that we're one of the royal family's gone missing, and as emissaries of our great noble House Tenon, we're actually going out to find. He was betrothed briefly to Lady Sibella Tenon of House Tenon, and as such, after his disappearance, we're very much in attempting to find his whereabouts. The royal family disappearing is a big deal. And he kind of gets off the fennec and hands you a flyer that is basically the same as the one you got from the Hawk Guard in Mirage, but it's significantly larger and more thoroughly illustrated. It's like a very similar visage, and it's still kind of sketchy, so you can do with that what you will. But they're just like, did you happen to see a very royal, like very fancy dress kind of individual, or maybe under the purview of some brigands? Did you find any sort of anyone who looked like they were distressed while you were in Mirage? We got word that he was spotted in Mirage very recently during the festival recently.
I'm afraid I was a bit busy during the event, so...
Of course. And I appreciate any help you can give us regardless. I understand that you're not exactly the investigators. But nothing? Nothing at all?
Unfortunately not.
It's a shame. Well, I see. Are you headed to Althra or past it, maybe further south?
Yes, we're headed to Althra.
Oh, delightful.
How far from here?
Oh, just under a day's travel at this point.
Excellent.
I hope all is well there.
It's a unique situation to be sure. Very stable. Everything's going fine. But yeah, it's usual troubles of such a large and prestigious civilization, you know. Anyhow, happy travels. I hope all of you are doing well. He's gonna roll an investigation check.
Oh, no!
That's a 20.
No!
A natural?
It is a natural 20.
Let's go!
And he's got a +3.
No.
Let's go!
Loka, are you attempting to conceal the lantern at all?
Can he see inside of the cart?
He can see the cart. He's just viewing around. And, like, if by concealed I mean just, like, is it inside? Is it non-visible?
Yes, it should be not.
Okay, cool.
Because he shouldn't be able to see me either.
Correct. I think with this amount of investigation, he's just like, is this the full party? Is this everyone with you? It seems a little bit light. Just want to make sure you're safe.
No, there are other members currently resting. We had a lot. Please forgive us. We did have quite a fright, as I previously stated.
Of course. He's gonna roll insight. He needs to know you're not, like, royal smugglers. And obviously, like, Heisan's telling the truth here, but he needs to know that. 16 + 3. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he believes you. He's just like, oh, excellent. Well, like I said, fair travel to you. Stay safe. Thank you for the warning, and we'll be on our way. And he kind of like gets back on the Phoenix and gives a whistle and an arm motion, and they head on their way down the road past you toward Mirage.
I should have used a big sigh. Ooh. Let me bolt me.
I would like to roll an Arcana check on this lane.
Sure.
Come on. 16.
16. Arcana. It's... Give me a sec.
Sure.
If you're gonna hang out in here, you need to set it up.
Yeah, so I think, especially as a non-caster, what you can kind of glean, like, sitting and taking a look at this lantern in general, is that, like, while you wouldn't be able to put an exact bead on, like, whether it is magical or what it is certainly behaving as if it is magical. There's, like, occasional little glows off of it. As you heft it, it seems to have a somewhat inconsistent mass. Like, it's almost like it weighs differently depending on how you lift it. And, yeah, it gives off light, although the light doesn't appear to be from a flame. You don't see any kind of intake for fuel or oil. It is certainly a weird, potentially enchanted object. You said you got a 16?
Yeah.
It's consistent with most other, like, spellcasting focuses you have seen. Like a staff or a wand or something like that.
What happens if I knock on it?
Oh no.
Like, just a little tap?
Yeah.
That's a good... So, it sounds hollow, but feels solid.
Is there a door on it?
No.
So it's just like a solid, like shell, basically.
Yeah, it is this you can describe it a little bit more if you would like, Zeron. I imagine it is something, it is like this
Yeah.
partially stained glass and metal construction, right?
Pardon me as I open up the document that has all the images of it, because I have a picture in my head. I just want to show her.
Yeah.
I'm giving the actual, right information. Yeah, okay. Like, it's basically exactly that. There's no, like, opening that you can tell would be, like, similar to a door or, like, a trap or anything. It doesn't open up at all. You can, like, twist things around with it. Nothing gives. The only thing that kind of gives is just, like, you can, like, kind of, like, mess with the charm on the bottom, but it's not, like, that does anything. It's just basically hanging down as, like, decoration. But yeah, it's just like a bunch of like different stained glass pieces that all are like arranged to make the pattern that you see on it. Which, if we need a refresher, hold on, I can throw a image and text for voice so we have it. Pardon all the art in the back, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
But, like, that is what the lantern looks like. You are holding, like, that portion. The staff is not there.
Okay. Interesting.
So it's not a lantern in the way that you think it is. This is what it looks like. It's basically
Like a mirage.
sort of like a Turkish lantern.
Yeah. No, there's actually a shop up near Montrose.
Yeah.
That has a whole bunch of these.
Mm-hmm. So this is the lantern that you were holding on to.
All right.
It doesn't sit up straight even really well. It just kind of like sort of goes to the side. It doesn't have a spot where it like sits naturally because it's always usually hanging off of the staff itself.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Shush.
Well, this is a less fun object for me to interact with because it feels a lot more fragile than I was imagining.
I mean,
And I'm so
you
upset about
could
it.
do what you want with it.
It's pretty solid, broadly speaking. I think it's actually surprisingly firm, like just from a physical heft perspective. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't recommend trying to break it. You may, if you want to, if that's what you
You
want.
absolutely could.
He's
Who's
gonna
gonna
shake
stop
it.
you?
It's gonna shake it.
Yeah.
Like I said, weird, inconsistent mass. At times, it almost feels like you're shaking like a bird cage or a fishbowl of some kind. Like it feels like there should be shifting mass inside of it, but every time your shake comes to a stop, it just feels like a solid object again. I need to check one thing real quick.
Jello lantern.
So it's been the other party passes. They are now kind of dust in the distance, and it's been probably 30 minutes since Zeron has disappeared.
He could not decide whether he wanted in or out.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, I missed the last little bit because of that.
Loka is investigating the lantern.
Ah,
I think he's not content. He's actually quite miffed. He feels like there's a secret there. He just doesn't know how to get to it.
So the gentlemen have left. The soldiers have left, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Isan will go in. Will look in and say, Loka, may I look at the lantern myself?
Sure. Do you think Saren is the missing noble person?
Oh, Oh, this one?
oh! What? Wait a minute.
He says,
Let me read that fucking thing again.
thinks to himself, no, I have no earthly way of telling, to be quite honest. As far as our friend is concerned, I met them once in a dusty market. I have very little clue as to who their family is or what their past may be.
Peshmina looks at the sketch. Does it resemble Zaron at all?
Roll an investigation check.
Oh shit! Did I fucking get it? What?
Oh, 20! Unnatural 20.
It's not a great artist's rendition. There are the biggest differences you can tell that would seed a completely reasonable amount of doubt in your mind are that the like disposition and clothing is very different. And obviously this sketch doesn't have any of these animalistic features. Like there is a resemblance, but whether these two people are the same person is dubious.
Yeah.
You're not sure that it's not, but you're not sure that it is.
Incredible. Anyways, Loka passes over the lantern.
Hassan, oblivious to this realization, is going to begin his own little study of the lantern itself. May I try to identify more about what it could possibly be?
Sure.
What? I am.
Currently, you are still not moving. Would you like
Yeah, I
to
was
be?
gonna say, Peshmina wants to go ahead and like start re-itching.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back to the
You can head at normal pace. You can go half pace again. Or you may, if you want to get there faster, double pace.
How does Millie look? She probably still doesn't look particularly rested.
She looks like if you double pace, she's gonna need a long rest. Like, long rest meaning like a day or two once you get there. But if you normal pace it, like, she'll be okay. If you double pace, you'll get there before sundown. If you normal pace, you'll get there just about at sundown.
Probably just normal pace.
Yeah. Sure thing.
I'm
I'm making everyone roll, so you gotta roll animal handling. Making everyone roll. We're looking for a 5 or greater.
Right. Animal. Bonk. 18.
18 is more than 5. So yeah, you have no trouble getting Millie hitched up and ready to go again. And you start trundling on your way toward Althra.
Go, Millie.
Yeah. I only got a 12, by the way. My streak has run its course.
Sure. Yeah, so similar to Loka, you're more familiar with arcane objects. So you get most of the same stuff. You can tell that it's probably a spellcasting focus of some kind, but you can't really determine the tradition of magic or construction or any real details beyond that. It behaves as if it has mass.
Alright. No, then I suppose I'll get nothing out of it without identify. Okay, then.
Reasonable. All right, yeah, you continue on your way down the path.
Is Sauron still just like in the lantern?
An hour passes.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Another
They need to
hour
sleep.
passes.
What do you want?
Are you going to spend the maximum amount of time you can?
Yes.
Okay, so after 4 hours,
4 hours.
Zeron reappears on the cart. Are you asleep still when you reappear?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
An asleep Zeron appears in the cart after 4 hours.
Fucking
Oh.
Peshmina takes off her slipper and just like throws it as hard as she can down on him.
Like, while
Whack!
still handling Millie.
Yeah, she's got the lead in one hand, takes off her fucking slipper and
You know what? Sure. Where do you hit them? Where do you hit them?
straight in the face.
Fucking
Right in the face.
chunkless.
All right.
Like
Super.
winds
Awesome.
up.
Just gets actually nailed in the side of the face as soon as they appear.
With
They're
a
just
little like
out. And just like the shock of it, like just kind of like yells and then jumps up from where they were, wide awake, just like furiously looking around. What? And looks down at the slipper.
I don't realize that's not what to leave.
Sauron.
Good morning to you too. I was asleep.
She holds up the fucking flyer and is just like, "That's you."
They look at it, like, they just rub their cheeks, still, like, upset they were just fucking had a shoe thrown at them. And they pick up the flyer and look at it. And they just start laughing. You think that is me? You think someone like that? No. I see that there was a confusion. I am not that.
People saw you at Mirage. That's why they're going there.
Ah, I
Well,
see.
This is recognizably you, Sauron.
And then you wanted to hide when they showed up, so, you put 2 and 3 together and you get 4.
I understand. I understand that it does look like that. I will admit, I have been confused for them in the past. But I can tell you with all reasonable doubt, I am not the prince. If I was the prince, why would I be here?
Oh, that's exactly the problem, Zoran. We don't know. Okay, so give it benefit of the doubt. You're not this prince, but you look strikingly like them. What if they thought that they were holding you kidnapped, or we could get in trouble?
I've proved it before. I can prove it again.
Then why all the sneaking and hiding while they passed?
I was asleep. You just hit me with a.
No, the timing was too good, Zoran. The timing was you can't tell me that wasn't unintentional.
Understand. It looks bad. I assure you. I just needed to sleep. I had been up all night before. I might have gone over by saying beauty sleep, but truly I had just been up all night before. Driving us! I was still up when his son was driving, keeping an eye on the road. Forgive me for just trying to get a little bit of shut-eye.
Fine, I'm sorry I hit with you, but I just tripped all over my fucking words. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry I hit you with my slipper. Can I have it back, please?
Of course. And they will reach down, pick it up, and hand it back over to Pashmina.
Loka is eyeing you suspiciously. And this continues probably until Althra.
Now, where have you hidden my lantern? Can I please have it back?
Oh, yes. Heisan picks it out of, I guess he had put a little cloth over it or something to dim it. And
wonderful.
Yeah, hands it back to Zoran.
Thank you.
You might see that it's a bit more it smells a little bit fishy.
I don't think they question it at all, and they just put it right back onto its spot on their staff. And they take a seat back where they were in the back of the cart.
I don't smell that bad. Giraffe puppy does smell bad.
And he, puts the beaver into his chest.
Puppy takes, a large inhale and then just, falls over backward.
Oh,
Oh
my god.
You continue onward toward Althra.
Um,
It's a long 8 hours.
I was gonna say, probably only a few minutes go by and Fishman asks, are we gonna have a problem in the city?
What?
to use our own. Are we gonna have a problem in the city? They're looking for you, or at least someone who looks like you.
There is not going to be a problem, no.
Okay.
Maybe from a booth I've stolen from, but I promise you, no, not at all.
Alright.
Trust me, if there was going to be a problem, I would not be here right now.
I don't know.
Consider it, if I was hypothetically the prince that is missing, why would they just go back? Just like that.
Oh, because you're not going back, you're just traveling through.
But that just simply doesn't make sense.
I don't know, it's not my grand conspiracy.
Are you saying it's mine? Because it sure as hell isn't.
Well, you look like him. I don't know.
It really
Well, I'm
is.
sorry that I look gorgeous.
You said.
Literally like royalty. Yeah.
Are you related or something? Like,
No.
Heisan raises his voice. I believe I believe Zoran doesn't wish to speak of it, and perhaps we should all leave the dialogue to rest for a little bit. Zoran says they aren't the prince. Perhaps they aren't the prince then. No sense being on this journey that's going to take us a very long period of time if we're constantly questioning the origins and possible royal ties of every single one of us.
That's very funny coming from you, considering you asked me all of the time about where I came from. So
I mean, I was
now
just
you call it social faux pas.
Well, you see, Loka, when certain people don't want to speak of, you know what? Forget I'm here. Forget I said anything. She rings back.
yeah, Peshmina sighs and it's like, okay. We won't push the issue. It was just a bit shocking, is all. And, you know, I'm worried about you and us.
There shan't be an issue, I promise.
Alright.
On to a more pressing matter, though. Pashmina, I know, was expressing some concern about the cards, and rather the safety of them. Which is why I do have a means of identifying them, but I will require funds from everyone, or whatever collective funds we may have. About 100 gold will do it, but I'm not quite sure we have it.
Oh.
I understand that not everybody will have that, but it would be of use.
And how important is this item to you?
Important in that it will simply assist in finding out exactly what we are carrying. Pulls out his card.
What cards are these?
The cards that Feihu gave each of you individually.
Oh, got
The
it.
ones that are supposedly
Got it.
to protect from surveillance.
Loka, he's not being very good at this, but he has like a bag in his hand that he is slowly like lifting Puppy up and then putting him on top of, and like,
Oh no, I don't have money that's money. I spent most of it on rations.
The bag just like lightly jingles as you put Puppy down on top of it. And Puppy like immediately starts kicking his legs, causing the bag to jingle even more.
Isan just looks you over for a moment. I don't have to do an insight.
It'd
Isan
be funnier if you did.
Also,
Much fun.
a brief like interjection of like, if we want some of this to come to rolls when it comes to potential deception or whatnot, we can, but for the time being, I'm comfortable just leaving that as roleplay.
Yeah, perfectly fine. Isan will just say, that is extremely disappointing. That is very, very disappointing, Loka.
Oh, that was sad.
Yes. It's a shame. I suppose I will have to enjoy these nice little coffee bean treat delicacies that I got from Mirage all by myself. I'm sure Although I'm sure none of our animal friends around here looks at Puppy would be able to would be willing to share them with me.
Puppy's snoofing the air.
Puppy,
Oh, Puppy,
listen to me.
I'm sorry, Puppy. You'll have to give me something in return if I am to.
Puppy grabs the
Heart
whole
raises.
bag in his mouth and immediately starts
my
like
God.
jumping over towards Hasan.
Oh my god.
You're trying to nuts!
And just immediately starts gorging himself on these little coffee beans.
Oh my god.
How much gold is in there?
Loka, you have the reflexes to snatch the bag back if you want to.
He does.
He does. Hasan, you see it long enough to know that there's like a reasonable amount of money in it. It's not like a super hefty sum of coin, but like Loka clearly has some money.
You're welcome to do anything you wish with whatever funds you may have or have obtained, Loka. I have no idea how you obtained that amount in such a short time. Though I do hope that I do hope you know that this pertains to the safety of all of us. Although, perhaps I could find someone else to do the identifying for me.
I don't know. I mean, Zaron gave away like 500 gold coins, so, you know.
500?
I don't know how much it was, but it was a lot, okay? And I'm still I still feel a lot about that.
If it would benefit everyone, we split evenly by 100, so it'd be 25 each. Is that a problem for anyone here?
Oh, that's a lot.
Unfortunately, yes. I spent the last of my funds. Actually, I dried up the last of my funds by the time I had entered Mirage, which is the problem.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
Even after my cut from the performance, I mean, 17 is a lot of money for me.
It is.
Oh,
I suppose I could. If the pearl is out of the question, then I could, at the very least, find someone else to, Thra to do the identifying for me. There's bound to be some spellcasters in there.
You can find just about anything in Althra.
I think I know just the people to talk to.
Also, relevant for character sheet things. Pashmina, you have like just under 50 gold's worth of money.
Oh, what? Oh,
Because
yes,
you have
but-
300 copper.
I forgot. I didn't
God damn!
convert my silver into gold. Yeah, you're totally right. Should actually probably do that.
God damn. Because I think I have exactly like 60 gold.
Yeah, you like just under. I'm just looking at everyone's inventories.
Mm-hmm.
Hasan is dead broke. Hasan has 2 gold.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
Everyone else has considerably more money.
So...
But also,
Whoops.
like, it's a big market. You could definitely find someone you could pay much less money to cast Identify on it for you, but then you're also assuming that they tell you the truth and the whole truth. Or you could maybe convince with some good wordsmithing, you could maybe convince a merchant to let you use a pearl for a little while. Or maybe haggle down. It may not be a full. It's a market city. There's a lot of options.
It's literally a merchant city. We can figure something out. We got options, baby.
Thank you for catching the gold thing. I
Yeah,
forgot how math works in this game.
Yeah.
Money's in tens.
Oh, and it shows you the total. Okay, if you click on it. Nice. so I don't have to fucking okay.
Yeah. Don't have to convert if you don't want to.
I also have funny spell to help make, so we good. I good at talk.
In that case, I will give Hisan 25 gold.
Thank you, Pashmina. I will.
Of course.
If
What's mine is yours.
Oh, thank you. Mhm.
If you do not mind, I think I will accompany you while you are out shopping.
Per se, yes.
Just
Though,
memories of the last time we had met up.
yes, I'm sure we will be. I'm sure someone will try to steal from me again. It'll be nice to have you there.
Of course.
Maybe a little less of a mark now.
Yeah, now that
Thankfully.
Yeah.
But yeah, you may absolutely proceed toward Althra. Like I said, it's a long drive. You end up arriving there like just before sunset.
Oh, wow, okay.
So consistent road. It's good. It's really good traveling weather today is the big thing. So let me. Special thanks to Hannah for helping out with this board.
Oh, boy. Oh, I'm excited.
Boy.
Let's call the players. Punk.
Oh, is there an
I'm waiting.
Well,
I see it has a name.
Oh,
Holy
that is
shit.
size.
Oh, it's loading now. Oh
Size.
my good god. Oh, I'm so excited.
That sure is a big, large market.
It
I'm
is.
so glad.
So
This is pretty much more or less exactly.
a little bit of housekeeping for travel first is that so Althra is split into basically each of the cardinal directions and then the 4 additional subsections. Y'all enter through the south gate, which enters right into this giant market.
Yes.
Because it's particularly the market entrance, you don't get like stopped at the entrance. There's not really a formal like security checkpoint or anything like that flowing into and out of these south markets. And it's enormous. It is the biggest market you have ever seen. Full of hanging lanterns and banners full of color and hustle and bustle even this late into the evening as people go about business in this enormous open air market. There are some stables nearby if you would like to house Millie and your cart for a little while. Otherwise, there's kind of just like broader stabling outside. The little bit of a price difference between the two, but not terribly so. And you all are free to explore the markets of Althra.
Yeah.
I assume one of you probably takes the gem cutter's tools with you.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you and Loka want to do that while Hasan and I go shop?
Yes.
Yeah, look for yeah.
So we
Yeah.
split up evenly there?
Yeah. Could we take a quick 5 to 10?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Then we will do so.
Cool.
See y'all soon.
Bet.
Turn the light up.
I'm gonna admire this map. God, this map's so cool.
Okay, what do we call ourselves, like the friendly stranger?
Ping pong.
Ping pong.
I closed my door. Let's see how long it takes him to.
I see.
You about to
That's
meow?
probably-
You about to meow?
He might. I had a lot of fun building portions of this. They did the base. And I did.
It looks very much kind of what I imagined, which I'm very
Well,
happy with.
I think I know part of what you were referencing when you ideated Althra.
Mhm.
So I based it off of, like, the bits of pictures I could find. And just
Well, I appreciate it.
I made an attempt. This, the tile packs in this are a bit limiting. But
yeah.
I think I got relatively close.
Also, boy, I sure did, I re-looked through my spells, and we also have on getting the pearl. Which is basically exactly what we did, what Zoran did with Loka when we found the money. Which is just make it poof away.
Okay.
So wait,
You
what
wanna
did
do
you
it
do with the money?
Petty thievery, we could do that. I have the spell called Wrist Pocket, which I got because I knew exactly it would come. You flick your wrist, causing one object in your hand to vanish. The object which only you can be holding and can weigh no more than 5 pounds is transported to an extra-dimensional space where it remains for the duration.
Damn.
So we could do petty thievery too.
Woo!
100 gold would be a
Let's
little
get
more
in
than petty
trouble
thievery.
immediately.
Listen, it's
Somehow
all
I
for
don't
offering
think Hassan is going to be down with that.
100 gold would also
I'm
be-
just saying.
100
On
gold
the
would also
table.
be a little more than petty thievery. The word petty has a definition.
I know. I absolutely know.
But you're welcome to do thievery.
Wait, can you
If you
not
so
see
desire.
any of the NPCs that I put down? What the fuck?
I don't see actual
see
characters.
NPCs.
Oh, I see some NPCs.
I see
I don't see-
friendos.
Oh wait, they're not on my screen. They're on the I don't see minis.
Stream, yeah. What the heck?
I don't see any minis on mine. I see like other things kind of like sitting around, but not minis.
That's weird.
It's like
Because I see the guards there. I can't see them all.
Oh, that's yep. Yeah.
Interesting.
I
Oh,
feel
well,
like I've heard about this bug.
it's whatever.
Well, we can see it on the screen at least.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to drop down your minis onto this map unless
That's
it
fine.
becomes necessary.
That's totally fine.
Tailspire players can't see minis.
Oh boy. Bolt is acting hyper.
Has he already discovered that he's been locked outside?
No, I think he's just got the zoomies.
I got
We're out of wet food.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
So dry food makes him fucking
Just zoom.
yeah.
The wet food was supposed to come in today, and we were given a notification from Petco and UPS that it was delivered, and it super wasn't.
That's how it goes.
Son of a bitch.
There was a point that I was waiting an extra month and a half from Amazon to deliver some for Adonis, and they delivered the wrong kind.
No.
Wet food has had a super big like shortage, and it's awful.
I can confirm this. At Walgreens, we have not had our entire shelf of wet food has essentially been dry for
Yeah.
the past couple weeks.
Or like the major brands,
That's rough.
Purina, Friskies, they're all been like super big shortage.
Yeah. Dry food there's still plenty of, but
Mhm.
nobody wants the dry food.
It's not good for them.
I'm gonna put down your minis and see if that does anything.
If it'll make things happen.
Where are you placing them?
On like the far end of the board.
But the
I do not see any. Wait, they
Yeah.
all appeared for me. They literally all just appeared for me.
oh yeah,
Like all the minis appeared.
yes,
Oh!
yeah.
I remember why. So if you have a mini assigned to you, it has line of sight.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay, cool.
Do it.
But
Because
that
I'm like,
only
there's
happens
super
if you
nothing.
have a mini assigned to you.
Huh.
So, like, if you scrolled over on the map all the way to the other end of the corner, you probably won't be able to see any NPCs.
I'm really glad there's just chickens on the ground.
Yeah.
I can see chickens. Look at all the other millies.
Lots of millies.
So many
Fennec
millies.
foxes are very popular. So, yeah. Is everyone back?
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, you enter the bustling marketplace with Millie and your cart, which is not depicted here. Don't worry about it. And you are greeted by the sounds, smells, and sights of this incredibly wide open marketplace. Immediately, people are at the door trying to shout stuff at you and trying to sell stuff to you. There is an amount of overlapping sales pitches that kind of cancel each other out at the door. There's a lot going on. And a stable nearby. How would you like to proceed?
Well, first, Pashmina wants to make sure that Millie gets set up and is able to rest.
Absolutely. Yeah, so there are public stables outside, which are like fine, but they're subject to availability and cooperation. Or you can pay a little bit to get Millie stayed in one of these stables on the inside. It's like about a copper a night. Or not a copper, silver a night.
That's fine.
That's still reasonable. Yeah, Pashmina wants to make sure that Millie is safe and comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. The attendees of the stable are more than happy to take care of Millie for you, and they make sure that like both Millie and you have like marks, almost like a coat check, like tags, basically.
Take a number.
And that's just one silver piece?
Yep, just one silver piece. One silver piece a night. So you'll put one down basically as a deposit now, and you'll pay out the rest when you come to pick her up.
Okay, then yeah. Pashmina will pay that.
Millie immediately starts crunching some hay and looks very comfortable.
Pashmina gives her a big hug and says, "Be comfy, be safe," and then leaves.
Don't get into trouble.
Yeah, be good. Be good for the people. Oh.
Right.
Makes a
So,
friend.
right. So who was taking the yeah.
I think we decided the Gem Cutter's tools is going to go to Pashmina and Loka. While Zoran Hassan look for the pearl. I think I don't want to like just be like, no, we're doing this. But I think that's what was agreed on.
Wants to go with me.
Yeah, I was going with Pashmina.
Okay. Bet.
I don't know if Pashmina knows where the Gem Cutter Society is.
You can definitely ask
Don't
around.
worry. Guess
Yeah.
what? We have someone who's from the city, baby.
Oh, true.
You can also just go around as a squad if you want to.
Good. It doesn't matter.
The markets are open basically all the time. It's a little bit of a city never sleeps situation, although like crowd definitely does thin out. Again, much like the desert, early morning, and honestly right about now. It's very much bustling, but it's like not the crushing density of people that you may be otherwise used to, Zoran. Because it's cool at night. It is refreshing at night. People like there is a nightlife to these markets.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you're definitely not on any kind of time restraint as to making sure to get places before the markets close.
Oh, for sure.
Let me let the boy in. I can't. Mute.
So yeah, if we want to travel together at first, I could definitely lead people to the Gem Cutter Society. I'm just assuming I know basically where pretty much everything is.
Most things are. Yeah, any kind of
Yeah.
obvious establishment.
Yeah.
you're definitely going to be able to understand where it is and get to it. Yeah, so any permanent establishments, like specific like guild leaders, and that's basically where. So the place that the Gemcutter Society actually is, which you know, Zoran, is a lot of the markets out here are more stalls, individual sellers, merchants, etc. And there is a space a little bit closer to the center of the south quadrant of the city. For more permanent establishments. So your Gem Cutters Guild, your Merchants Guild, your like individual mercantile families, stuff like that. And that's where you're going to be able to find the Gem Cutter Society establishment proper. Yeah, so if you would all like to go there, you absolutely may.
Oh, we're all going.
At least for the time being.
Let's go.
So yeah, you may travel along at your own pace. There are lots of shops around. People who have been in the city before, Zoran, Hassan, and Peshmina, I would like you all to make perception checks.
You're. I'm actually rolling kind of decent today. That's gonna change because I just said it.
I rolled before.
Nice.
17.
Solid.
7.
7. All
I'm
right.
so glad.
So, Hassan and Pashmina, there's a lot of shop going on. There's a lot of fun, interesting sights, and this is like very much how you remember it. Zoran, as you are leading the group towards these more permanent establishments, you notice something different about the crowd and the composition of the crowd here in the marketplaces, which is that you see a lot more small groups of like armed and armored individuals. Lots of them bear different flags, different insignias, different markings, but there appears to be a much higher presence of like these individual little groups. And as you get more to the section of the market where there are these permanent establishments, you notice that in some of these larger houses bear the same like crests as the armor of those people you saw coming in.
Interesting.
But you make
Is it one single house or is it like multiple?
It's a lot. Like, it's not, it doesn't look like it is, it's not the noble houses. It looks like it's more granular than that. Because there's like, you saw maybe like 10 to 12 distinct, like, insignias on different groups of people on your way here.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
But you make your way to the permanent establishments and the permanent guild house of the Gemcutter Society. It has this sandstone cut building that has been very carefully chiseled into this neat little architecture with the Gemcutter Society insignia carved above the door. And as you enter in, there is a middle-aged tiefling woman. Check my notes. I always default to tiefling.
Understandable. Tiefling supremacy.
It is tiefling supremacy.
Tiefling supremacy.
No, just a human woman. Sitting behind the kind of like front desk, if you will, who is sitting around all these catalogs of individual note cards and in front of this massive rack of scrolls, and she has a little abacus that she's marking stuff down with and is writing notes down, and kind of looks up at the group of you and is just like, yes, can I help you?
Hi. So, we've just come from Mirage. So you're, envoy of gem cutters? They never made it.
Oh, I'm sorry, because they're, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there any kind of like business you were hoping to do with them that I can transfer to like make up for this? I understand that that's a bit of a slight of customer service. Like I know that you probably needed them to be there for something. Is there like?
No. They did not understand. They never made it because they got eaten by purple worms.
Hassan just twitches and like. Hassan actually like. He just boffs him on the top of the head.
Ah!
Oh.
So we found their cart on the side of the road leading up, and we thought we would bring back what little we could salvage. Pashmina just kind of holds up like the contents of like I think there was like a couple of boxes or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, like toolboxes basically.
Someone will speak up. We attempted to see if any of them had supposedly run off, but we found there absolutely no trace of anyone having ever been there. If there were any tracks, they were surely erased by the movements of the worms, or were all already gone. You have our sincerest apologies and condolences.
That's incredibly disheartening. And she is kind of taken aback for a moment, and this much larger individual steps in from a door nearby into what looks like a bit of a workshop. This like very like lanky, tall, elvish man who has like they're like glasses, but it's got like the little individual magnifying lenses attached to it. And he just kind of steps forward and is just like, I'm sorry, I couldn't help but hear from the other room. I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you very much for returning these. And he kind of like proffers a hand, but not really sure to who. And he's just like, Master Smith Jorm. Sorry, Thank you for giving us news. I'm sure we'll have that verified externally, but I have no reason to disbelieve you. I can recognize my smith's tools when I see them. And I can't imagine some raider or thief would attempt to bring them back, so...
I suppose not.
Yeah, if anything, we're sorry. It's, we unfortunately couldn't deal with all of the worms, so the way might still be dangerous. But we tried.
Understood. The deserts do seem to be increasingly dangerous nowadays. Again, thank you for the various tools. Is there anything else I might be able to help you with? I understand that finding all of that would probably be a bit of an ordeal. You don't exactly seem like you're all from the city either, so...
Isam will shake his head. Only one of us, our fox-eared friend here.
I can see a local.
There is, at the very least, one possible thing I can think of. You will not happen to have, at the very least, a fairly well-priced pearl, perhaps, that I could perhaps borrow as component for even the briefest of time.
Oh, certainly. We have a small collection of pearls, in fact. Well, not explicitly gems. They're very hard to cut, you see. They're not, like, faceted. They're not constructed of the same kind of material. But we certainly have a small collection for setting into things or whatnot. In fact, I suppose if you'd like a tour of the workshop... I know this is a bit dire times, but I understand that... welcome to the city, I suppose.
I would hope not to intrude in such a way that would distract from the situation that you no doubt find yourself in at this moment.
I think we'll have time to deal with it. And Sirsa, this is, and he gestures to the bookkeeper. She looks like she's already like filling out an official notice of some kind that she's probably going to be sending off. It'll be handled, I assure you. Here, let me take you through the workshop. And he kind of steps back. Most of our workers do their cutting during the day, and he like gestures upward, and you can see these holes in the roof above the workshop that are each fitted with these lenses attached to little chains so they can be like adjusted in particular locations. Our smiths are very particular about the way their light hits the work while they're working, so most typically only work during the day. We've got a wide manner of cutting tools, most mundane, some arcane, and he kind of like looks to the lot of you and is just like, here, allow me, and he opens another side door into, and you just see like rows and rows of gems that are all manner of colors, very shiny, some combinations of cut and uncut. And he very pointedly opens the door, steps through, closes the door behind him between you and that room, goes and after a few seconds emerges back with a small collection of 3 pearls. And it's just like, I think one of these should suffice. I know that we are not typically in the market to be producing arcane quality goods. It's not our typical purview. But one of these should suffice.
I have no doubt they will. Hey, son, I guess we'll simply say that is all at the very least that I have come here for. I'm sure you won't mind if I stay here for a few minutes.
I'd prefer if you stayed here, in fact.
Heisan looks to the others. I'm not quite sure if there's anything else you wish to do. I will take to my tasks of identifying the objects in question. I did not know if any of you wish to also partake.
Oh, yeah. Pashmina hands over her card to you, Heisan.
Alright. Heisan will take it.
I know under the circumstances I hadn't really meant for this to be about business, but I was wondering, and she takes out her little like handful of beads. Do you think this could be made into a bracelet?
And he kind of like takes a look at them. He's just like, it's simple glass. It's these are from the festival, yes? Yes, certainly. They're fairly simply done. I can have one of my smiths on that if you want to retrieve them maybe in sometime tomorrow.
Certainly. Do you have an estimate of how much that would cost?
Oh, it's simple cutting. Are you interested in any form of like shaping or polishing of the beads, or just simple stringing?
Just a stringing. I rather like that they're natural.
Then, say 4 silver.
All right. Tomorrow then?
Sure.
Thank you.
While my friend over there is preparing himself for his... I do have a question for you.
Of course.
Guildmaster. There has been an advert for a item that has been taken from here.
Yes, the scarab.
The scarab.
And I was wondering if you could possibly tell us a little more. We saw the advert and we are quite interested in helping you and your organization retrieve this item back.
Yes.
Yeah, you can help more.
Of course. So, well, I mean, most of it's in the advert. It's a scarab shake. I can actually, and he kind of like goes to one of the workbenches and pulls open a drawer and comes out with a sketch of the scarab. like some early design work for the cut. And you notice that it is a large, what looks to be an emerald, probably, or some kind of like large green gem that has been cut and then inlaid into this very elaborate, like it looks like a silver or a gold, some kind of precious metal scarab around it. And very large gem, like probably fist-sized gem.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, it's quite large.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. So we, I guess, full story, I suppose, and you are interested in looking out for it.
Absolutely, we are.
Yes. So we were approached by an anonymous patron through a courier. That said, had some very specific instructions for how they would like this gem to be cut and set. And of course, like all good businesses, we took the deal and designed this up. All of our negotiations, again, done through courier, but ended up making this particular piece for them. And then on the eve, the courier was to come back and retrieve it. For our patron, we experienced a rather large burglarization of the smithy, in fact, during one of the greater festivals where all of our smiths had cleaned out for the evening. Someone managed to pick through our locks and break our seal to steal a wide variety of gems. Not just that one, although that is easily the most valuable of those that they had stolen. Our patron was obviously concerned and offered to us, in addition, when we offered to cover the cost of the jewel, even though it was quite large in our lacking security, we settled on attempting to pursue the gem itself in its stead. So that's the advertisements you see at this point, is we don't have the manpower. We're not exactly adventurers, but we can offer our coffers, at least, to anyone willing to acquire it. I wasn't in contact much with the courier myself, but Circe was, if you want to maybe speak a bit closer with them. But as far as we know, it's some sort of burglary. We're in heavy communication with the Hawk Guard in Althra, but something that notable we don't think could be fenced within the city. So
probably smuggled away somewhere else.
We're expecting it to be somewhere else in the Phasa. But we are still the biggest gem market in at least this half of the continent, so I can't imagine they'd get a particularly good price for it going south, so we suspect it's in the desert somewhere.
Well, we'll be traveling around, so I suppose we can try and pick up on these leads.
Yes. And note, if you do find some unsavory element that has found it, you don't have to attempt to do justice. We were willing to pay ransom. We're willing to pay anyone for the safe return of these gems. Our patron made it very clear that any return, regardless of cost, like, justice is apparently a non-issue for our patron. We're really just looking for the safe return of this artifact.
Of course.
That's a valuable artifact, then.
Is the name of the patron public knowledge?
Not to ours. We simply know them as patron through their courier.
I see. And do you know of this courier?
They're fairly well versed within the markets. I'm sure you might be able to track them down if you're ask around.
I may try. I don't know what other information they could get me, but any lead is a lead.
They are known for their confidentiality, so I would not expect too much.
I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you ever so much.
Of course. Well, we're here if you need anything cut or fitted.
I suppose, like, Hayston will look to yours and say, "You are welcome to do as you wish. I'm going to stay here for a little while I work, if that is all right with everyone."
Yeah,
I will
certainly.
get you planning on hatching, oh shoot.
What?
Yes.
Hatching an idea, oh that was painful for my brain. Hatching an idea on how to steal from a thief.
Okay, go on.
I said start planning, I didn't say I already had the plan.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, you
Oh,
gotta
man.
start somewhere, so.
Thank you.
Oh. We'll see what we can do. And I suppose we'll get out of your hair.
By all means. Hasan, I'm comfortable saying you've been able to ritual cast Identify once. In this amount of time so far. You may certainly wait long enough to cast it more than once if you would like.
I would
You would?
like to. I suppose.
Yeah. So
What are you identifying?
the cards.
Well,
Or at least Pejmina's card so
Just
far.
the card?
although he wishes to identify
The lantern.
the lantern as
Go
well,
for
but
it.
he's
Go for it.
okay. Well, I guess his first more subtle one, he doesn't want Zoran to see that he's actively identifying.
I'm literally totally fine with that. 100%.
Yeah.
It could be during that conversation. Zoran wouldn't
Yes.
know. That's fine.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Identify is range touch.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Hassan will
Zoran
just
is
sort of
distracted.
bump into the lantern at some point, briefly.
Well, so it's range touch. If you want to ritual cast it, it'll take 10 minutes. So you have to touch it for 10 minutes.
Oh, you have to be holding it the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I will just burn a spell slot.
All right,
then.
cool.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, so lantern first.
Yes.
All right, so you know that this lantern is a genie's vessel. It is a magical object used to contain a powerful creature of a variety of dispositions. It's also, from what you can tell, also appears to be able to be utilized as a spellcasting focus.
Okay. The plot thickens, I guess.
Okay. Would that also get the funny that's... Would Identify also pick up the, hold on.
Like all the abilities?
If it is
No,
a magic
no,
item or
no.
some or other magic imbued option, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it takes attunement to use, and how many charges it has.
I don't know why I typed the first part there.
Okay.
Just ignore that. Let me just get rid of bunk.
That's a good question.
So I don't know if that counts. I'm fine with
Right.
it saying it does.
Okay, yeah.
100% I'd be fine with it.
Then, yeah, so could you list off the things you get with Identify again?
If it is a magic, you choose one object that you must touch. Yada yada. If it is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, and how many charges it has, if any.
Okay.
It did say one.
Oh yeah. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are.
Okay.
Powerful disposition.
The answer is no.
Right, yeah, exactly.
It said one.
Yeah, you know it's a genie's vessel. How to use it and something required to use it. It requires a blessing or otherwise bestowed gift from an entity. I'm going to purposefully leave that nebulous. Like, that is kind of unknowable knowledge. Like, honestly, the, like, how to use it and what you need to use it, you just get... It involves an entity, and you can't. You can't use it.
To anyone else, it is just a lantern.
Yeah. And a spellcasting. They could theoretically maybe use it as a spellcasting focus. Maybe. It would be hard and weird. Like an archmage could probably use it as a spellcasting focus.
Yes.
And the other thing you know is it has a touch of Feywild magic inside of it. Specifically a something called a Feywild shard.
Okie doke.
If you want to know what that is, I can just send you. If you, I don't know if Heisan would. That is.
Genies, are they fire or wind aligned, like, elementals?
There are lots of different kinds of genies.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
They are you're right in that they are typically connected broadly to elementals.
But that could be
And the elemental and material planes, but there's no specific element aligned with the broader term genie or jinn.
Nope.
Alright. So all I know is that it is a genie's vessel.
Yeah,
and
the
it
thing
could
you
be
know is that it is a
containing
genie's
anything.
vessel. Containing... And it might be containing something, it might not. That's not information you get to know.
So, alright then. I suppose Heisan's just gonna hang out here for a while, for the next 20 minutes or so, while he,
Also, I'm just gonna send you the table, Eli. Or not the table, the description.
okay. Is one by one, as he, one by one, I guess, identifies each and every card.
So you
Or
definitely
that he has
identify... I was about to say, that you have access to. You currently have your card and Pejmina's card. You cast Identify on Pejmina's card, and you can tell that it is effectively, in enchantment, an amulet of protection from scrying. Or amulet of proof against detection and location is the full title. And you cast it on your card, and you know that it is the same. Additionally, for both of them, however, you also tell that this item is part of a set, part of some sort of larger magical item, known as a deck of things. Not the deck of many things, but rather a deck of things, which are recreations of and in the image of a deck of many things. Wherein each of the cards is given a particular powerful magical effect that can be used when all of the cards are brought together.
Wait. Can you repeat that for me, please?
Yeah.
So these were?
The two cards that Heisan has identified are part of a deck of things.
Okay.
They don't have the magical properties that a deck of things would normally have, because they are all separate and individualized. You don't know whether Feihu even potentially had a full set. There are even decks of things that are not the legendary deck of many things are incredibly rare and incredibly powerful.
Oh, yeah.
So in this instance, the cards are able to work individually, but are still part of the larger.
Correct.
set.
And all function individually as amulets of proof against detection and location.
Okay.
So you are holding what are incredibly powerful artifacts, but not in isolation.
Interesting.
Maybe a little weird of a thing for just a random town mayor to have,
Yeah, kinda.
but
We already knew she was.
this is true. But they are what she told you they are, mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
At least the two that you have identified.
So I guess in those 20 minutes, has everybody just been chilling?
Just vibes.
Mm.
Yeah, more or less.
Then I guess I have one more question for the Guildmaster.
Mhm.
She sent us, I don't have it written down, told us to come and write the Black Iron Snake. That's... I can't remember, was the Black Iron Snake at all bejeweled?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember this at
he-
all.
It's the item that Feihu is asking for you to
What's
find.
from- Yeah.
Alright. She's going to ask the Guildmaster. My sincerest apologies, Guildmaster, but you wouldn't happen to be able to point me in the direction of perhaps some of your associates who work with bands and, well, the metalwork of the jewelry that you create.
Oh, certainly. There are a few smiths across the markets. Is there anyone you're looking for in particular? That may be in the shop, or any kind of work, a specific.
Perhaps something regarding a bracelet of sorts that made of iron resembles a snake.
Excuse me. Actually, Cirsa, and the bookkeeper looks up, having written 3 pages of documents that are now in an out bin on the other side of her desk. She looks up and she's like, yes. And he goes, could you roll through our records and see if we have anything along those lines? And she goes, yes, I can do that. And she, like, pulls out a scroll of orders, and she's like, you said bracelet, iron?
Yeah. Yes. That's
and
okay.
she begins, like, very rapidly scrolling through this very large scroll that just has lists and lists and lists and lists of names and items on it.
Just imagining like a Rolodex sound effect, like
Absolutely, yes. And she goes through like 2 or 3 rolls, and she just goes, I don't see much of anything. You said in the shape of a snake. It could be under bangles. And she puts the scroll away and pulls another scroll out and like quickly flips through that. And it's just like, no, doesn't look like any merchant, at least within the guild, has worked on it here.
Right. Thank you. Do you perhaps know of any other associations which I can perhaps talk to in the meantime?
Could maybe talk to the Enchanters Society? In case it is a magical object of some kind. We tend to avoid working with... Well, we made an exception recently, but we tend to avoid working with magical items.
Alright. Well, thank you very much. I suppose I know where I will be heading next, then.
Sure thing. It's just a few doors down. The guild hall, at least.
Of course.
Jorm also said that you have information about the courier who you got the scarab order from?
Yes. An Aarakocra fellow. Let me see. And she, like, pulls up a new list, and she, like, starts scrolling through that notebook. This one looks like it's full of communications of some kind. And she starts, like, marking a few separate ones, and just like, yes, looks at notes. Mira.
Mira. Mira or just Mira?
Just Mira. Just simply Mira. They tend to run a large number of courier services throughout Althra. Although they typically do most of their work in the noble and mercantile houses. Typically farther upscale stuff, which is to be expected given the price of the commission they organized for us. I imagine it was likely some sort of gift. My conception, anyway, is why it would be that valuable, and why you'd choose to cut a gem after it's been enchanted, but it's just odd. It's just how it goes.
It's apparent money is no object to these people.
Clearly.
Well, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you both. I'm just kind of like waves to both of them.
Jordan gives a conservative little wave.
Ready to go? What's everyone else?
Quite ready.
Jorm extends a hand for the pearl.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, nearly forgot. Apologies. Hisan hands them the pearl back.
I understand.
Thank you very much, and our apologies again for the circumstances.
Yes.
Under.
I'm sure we'll be putting out a missive soon enough. Sometimes news travels slower than expected around the desert, so warning anyone ahead of time that we can about the road would be a good idea. All right. We'll be here as always.
Thank you for your time, Guildmaster.
Of course. And you all can step out back into the fresh air of the open market.
We leave.
Now darkening, becoming increasingly night, and the markets are getting busier.
I suppose then, at the very least, I have one more stop to make. I'm sure I need not waste all of your time by dragging you along with me. If you wish to come, that is up to you, but I'm sure there are other things that you wish to do at the moment.
Well, where are you going?
To the Enchanters, of course. I still have my questions unanswered about the item that we have actually been sent to find. I wish to ask around a little bit more about it before I give up, so to say. Just curiosities.
I'll go with you, if only for safety's sake.
That would be very welcome. Thank you for offering, and for always worrying for my safety.
Pishmina does almost like a little head bonk on your shoulder. Like, yes, friend.
Ouch, not the horn.
More of a side hug. But yeah, the horn's always.
Please do be careful with the more unsavory folks of my dear city.
Oh, I'm sure I will. I will try to at the very least.
Wonderful.
Alright.
Where should we like to gather round then again?
Well, you're the local. Do you know any, I don't know, nice inns?
Oh, certainly.
Or rather,
I'll give you
cheap
100
inns.
XP if you make one up on the spot.
Okay.
100 XP on the spot? Okay.
That's for anyone who wants to help.
The two-headed, and I'll give someone else the last word.
The two-headed,
I'll split that 100 XP in half.
The two-headed peasant.
Two-headed peasant.
Sure. There we go.
Constantly arguing with oneself. It has a little.
No, it's a theatrical place. One's really happy, one's really sad.
Yeah.
Different mask on.
Ooh.
There we go.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
It's like a little like
Dinner and a show kind of place.
Yeah.
I got it.
There you
I
go.
got it.
There you
Okay,
go.
yeah. Mid-scale, probably.
Mhm.
This is not kind of a trap. This is a like business class, right? Is the kind of
Yeah.
thing like when merchants are stopping in Althra, this is the place that they go to like unwind between big monetary deals. It's nice. The
Perfect.
rooms themselves are surprisingly well priced because the performances go all day and night, and you kind of have to deal with that level of noise regardless of the
Yeah.
amount of time that you're there. Yeah. All right. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. You two can have 50 XP apiece.
Perfect.
Yay!
Hell yeah. Artmanic 60. Tight value 50. And let's go.
That's really good.
1,000 to go, baby.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's nearby. Not quite deep into like it's not like past the center into the more like royal and noble districts. It's still pretty squarely in the market area. So yeah, if you want to meet up there after doing your own business, you may.
Yeah.
I'll have given everyone the location.
Hooray!
Yeah. Could even make a room reservation for the four of you if you wanted to.
Of course.
All right.
Hooray!
Then Pejmina and Hassan off to the Enchanter Society.
Absolutely.
Similarly adorned, you can tell that there's an architectural motif to the guild halls. And much the same layout. You've got a bookkeeper out front. And they kind of look up at you, just like, what can we do for you?
Oh, hello there. My name is Hassan. I merely wish to. I do hope that it would not be a problem if I came here under the recommendation of the guild. What was the guild master's name for the?
Orange.
Mastersmith Jorm.
All right, under the recommendation of Mastersmith Jorm of the Gem Cutters Society, on recommendation that you may perhaps have information on a specific item I am doing research on.
Potentially. What kind of item do you have? What kind of item are you talking about? Also, give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Oh, yay. I'm pretty good at this. Please make that not a 2. Shit. Advantage! That's a natural 20, thank God.
Holy
I thought
shit.
that was gonna be another 7. I thought that was
That's what
about
you
to be
love to
another 7.
We love to see it.
Yeah.
So that's a 25 total.
Yes.
Yeah. There's like, oh, Jorm, of course, anything for Jorm. What specific item are you looking for?
Well, I suppose specific is a bit too broad. He thinks for a moment. It's more of just simply a. Well, I guess the first thing of matter is it's a bangle of sorts, or perhaps a bracelet. It's made of a sort of black iron, and the way it coils makes it seem as though it takes the appearance of a snake.
Interesting. All right. You can tell that this bookkeeper is like significantly less organized than Cirsa. Or at least from a speed perspective, is maybe a little bit less skilled at discovering information. But they also clearly have a lower volume of orders, as opposed to the Gem Cutter Society. So she starts like looking through stuff individually, and she starts looking like this wouldn't happen to have some sort of proper name, would it? That might make things go a little easier.
We weren't given any name, correct?
Yeah, if anything, it is probably just called literally the Black Iron Snake.
Interesting. Is this a previous order that you had a complaint about? Is this like
No.
something
It
you'd
is
like to
something-
replicate?
It's In a sense, yes. What the latter, if the latter would be useful if possible. It just relates to a nature to a business matter we are currently pursuing.
Well, all right. Let me keep looking. And she pads through some pages and keeps flipping through some things. And it's just like, well, I have a silver bracelet in the shape of a worm. Is that?
Unfortunately,
No. Okay. Well, in that case, I don't think anything of that sort has been acquired. You mentioned, it's something you're looking for, correct?
Mm-hmm.
In a sense,
More so
that
yes.
we're trying to retrieve one.
Oh, okay, interesting. Well, if it has historical significance, you might be able to check the archive. If it's like some kind of, I don't know, is this like a treasure hunt? Any information you can help me with here.
We were tasked by the owner to find theirs.
We know.
I see.
We know that it is currently in the possession of another individual, so it is not a lost artifact of sorts. But again, with the simple, I guess, with such a broad description, I suppose there's not much we can do besides hunt at it.
Well, that's relieving at least. I was worried for a moment you were another set of adventurers going out into the depths of Hav's Wrath to find some long-forgotten steel or some whatever.
We're not.
Just gonna scratch
Hisam will just roll his eyes and say, we're not suicidal, ma'am."
I understand. Look, there are lots of young people with swords interested in wealth these days.
Yes.
Well, if anything comes up, or potentially if such an item passes through, I can send word to Jorm, or potentially you if you have a permanent address to which I can send mail. But
no permanent address, but we'll be at the two-headed peasant.
Fine
At
place.
least for a night.
Good biscuits.
Good biscuits.
Yeah.
Do you perhaps know also where the archives are located and how one might gain access to them?
Yes. There's a segment of the archives that are open to the public under supervision. You can't take stuff in or out, but you're free to read and examine while you're there. It's in the north. It's near the academy. Neither of you look like you're directly from around here. That would be in the checks notes. North district, I believe. No, south. Well, I rotated the city 90 degrees. Accidentally.
Muddy.
Oops.
Rotating the city in my mind.
I did
My
make the
bad.
map kind of weird.
I mixed up the south and west. I apologize.
Understandable. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, those are swapped now, canonically. Sorry.
That's fine. It's whatever.
It's in the west district, near the academy.
Okay. Alright.
Thanks. Anyways.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Like I said, I'll contact you if anything comes through, and say hello to Jorm for me. All right?
I'm sure I will.
Deception check. No.
I'll be seeing him tomorrow, probably. So.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right.
So
You're-
Hisan walks out and immediately starts walking west.
Oh, right now?
Well, yes. Is that?
I mean,
It is getting quite late.
Yeah, I was
You've
gonna
been
say,
up for a while.
Aren't you getting tired?
I mean, I suppose, but a scholar never a scholar never tires when there's not when knowledge is desired. Scholar never tires when knowledge is desired, and you note that the way he says that it's like it's something that has been drilled into his mind through years and years of reinforcement.
Oh my. On the hunt again, I see. Well, let's go, I guess.
Oh, you don't have to come if you don't wish.
I want to help. She kind of like does a bashful little like kick against the girl.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to make you sad. Yeah. How do I deal with it? I don't know how to do this. Isan will walk out. I guess continue walking towards the archives then.
All right, you make it to the archives. Zoran and Loka, you've arrived at the Two-Headed Peasant. There is currently a show. It looks like a kind of like 3-person short comedy of errors, lots of slapstick going on, kind of thing. Kind of in the middle of it, but like there is a hostess nearby willing to help you out if you so desire. It's another Aarakocra, very like sand red feathers with little flecks of white, kind of like a clay color.
You can already tell that Loka is not even paying attention to anything other than the show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking in hushed tones as to not overlay the plot. Welcome. As you see, we have a show going right now. Is there anything I can help you with? Maybe book you a room?
Of course. What's the going rate for a room these nights?
How many?
What is it per room?
Per room? Rooms are 2 beds apiece, or large rooms are 4 to 6. The small 2-bedrooms are about. I left my cheat sheet across the room. Fuck.
Nice. Make it up. It can be expensive. I don't care.
Silver is kind of the range. I'm gonna say like 3 silver and 3 silver a night for the 2 bedrooms, and 5 for the big one, for a big one.
Make it 2 small, please.
2 small? All right. That's 6 silver total. As usual, deposit now, then collect when done with the stay.
Of course. Zoran will put up the full.
Sure thing.
Actually, make it 2 large. Why not?
Too large?
2 large.
All right.
When in Althra. When in Althra.
When in Althra. It's like, thank you.
We just never come back.
Takes your 8 silver.
So it's 8 silver total?
Mm-hmm. 8 silver a night.
Oh, for the 2 rooms?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine.
8 beds?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I just want a larger room. Who cares?
Yeah, fair.
I'll push all the beds together.
Luxury.
Dude, sleepover. And Snake Million.
Look, some of us are interested in having company. One room is for the 3 of you, and 1 room is for Zoran.
Yeah, what did you expect?
Is that?
What did you expect?
She hands you a pair of keys. They're very nice. They're themed. They've got like two little like silhouettes of a head on them, and they're numbered.
That's very good.
And yeah, she kind of like gestures towards the stairs up, or if you would like, there's some extra seating for the show.
Yeah, I mean,
why not?
Loka is just, well, like he's like wandered
Already
off.
just. Yeah.
Hmm.
Excellent.
He's trying to get closer.
Is Puppy with you?
Oh, absolutely.
Excellent. Are you like encroaching upon the edge of the stage?
Oh, absolutely.
Slowly closing in as you get in closer and closer to the players. They're true professionals. They wouldn't react if the crowd was on fire. And they are going on to the show. It's a good time. People are laughing. It's very much like a Shakespearean pulp theater era vibe. Where like it's raw entertainment. The actors are really playing to the cheap seats, and no one's afraid to laugh over the performances going on. It is a very active observer experience.
Yeah, Loka's eating this up.
Hell yeah.
That's very good.
There are snacks
Zoran
here.
will take a seat.
Definitely concessions nearby if you are so interested.
Of course.
They do have like room service and a fairly stocked kitchen, but they also understand if people want to go to the market for the food since it's right there. So you are free to whatever. Most food is like 2 or 3 copper for like a soft meal. More if you want alcohol. And yeah, you can tell that a lot of the crowd is well lubricated, alcohol wise. And having a good time. It's weird, but it's good vibes. Also, relevant for you, Loka, and I think in folks in general, is while a good chunk of the population of Althra is primarily like humans, elves, and Aarakocra, a like roughly half is a very diverse set of other peoples. Like there is a large quantity of orcs and half-orcs and Efreet and trolls. There's at least a couple trolls in the city. And fish people. There's probably one at least other fish person in the city somewhere. So it's not exactly a place you're going to get gawked at for looking weird. It is a profoundly diverse city. And you may enjoy the show for as long as you want, in whatever manner you want.
I don't think we really need to dwell on this for too long. To be
I
honest.
agree.
But yeah,
We watch, we laugh, we slap the knee.
We slap the knee. Yes.
He's at the edge of the stage. Like I think at a certain point he like puts his hands on the edge and is just kind of like looking up at them.
You put Puppy on the stage, so your hands are on the edge.
Puppy is on my head so that he can see.
Excellent.
Best seat in the house.
He's there until it ends.
Excellent.
God.
Yeah, you vibe. After the comedy, there are dramedies. There's like soap opera style, like extremely melodramatic stuff. Like the shows just basically never stop. So you can hang out there as long as you want. Peshmina and Hasan. You arrive at the archive. It's fairly late, but there are lots and lots of lamps around to aid in reading in the archival process in general. There are a number of librarians. You can tell they're in this very specific uniform. It's not like drab, but it's not colorful in the same way the rest of Althra is. They're just these like very understated robes with like deep pockets, and everyone's wearing kind of it's like a sling that people they're keeping books and scrolls and things in under their arm.
Alright. In that case, Hasan is going to walk over to I guess somebody who was working at what looks like anybody who looks like they are an assistant or an official that will, like, the person you ask for directions in the library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A reference desk ref desk help. Ref
desk help desk. My sincerest apologies for bothering you this late at night. But would you happen to be able to point me in the direction in the direction of theological texts regarding very, like, for example, encyclopedias of iconography.
Yes. But of course.
Of course. Thank you very much.
It-
And perhaps the history of crafts as well within.
The history of crafts.
Perhaps more jewelry, and I suppose more of history of the Fage areas in general.
So we're looking for a history of crafts, the jewelry in general, and you said a theological study?
Theological study and symbology.
Yes, those are in disparate locations of the library, but I believe I can help you.
Oh.
If you follow me, and they stand up and begin walking very slowly toward...
Pashmina looks at you with a face of, like, just, like defeat. Like, we're gonna be here all night.
Pashmina, they saw him with her and said, I did ask if you wanted to go back.
The librarian looks at you and Pashmina says, we do also have an activities corner if you would like something to do while you're
You like
accompanied,
coloring books.
while your companion
Sudoku.
reads about the thrilling history
you know what?
of the
Maybe I
craft.
have my own research to do. I read books.
I love this man so fucking much.
You're welcome to explore any part of the library that is open to the public. If you will follow me, and continues walking very slowly.
How well versed? Can I make a check to see how well versed Haesong can get with whatever organizing system?
Your
they have
stated
within this-
occupation is archivist. You know how this place is organized within 5 minutes of being inside the building.
Okay, good.
Like, I like to imagine that this person is guiding you, and, like, you kind of take a look around, you look at some spines, you pull something out to, like, verify an assumption, and then you just walk right past them to the section that you are looking for. And they just go like, well, I guess you didn't need my help after all. And they slowly turn around and begin plodding back to the reference desk.
Yes, I suppose I'll need this one and this one. How big is this library, I guess?
Enormous.
This is like,
This is a grand
around.
library. This is the primary... You can tell that a lot of this... So, two primary sections. Roughly a third of it is what is open to the public. So you don't have access to the whole library. And the other two-thirds are academic usage. This institution is clearly linked to the Althranian Academy itself. So the vast majority of the research and knowledge here is for students of the academy, but a sizable portion is, like, I'm going to say like 2 to 3 times the size of a local library is available to the public.
Okay, awesome. I just need to know that because, Pashmina, you will see Haesong with these armfuls of tomes, like slightly wobbling around because he's having a little bit of trouble carrying it all. Looks like his wingspan is completely outstretched for balance, and he just puts them onto a table. Looks to you, whatever you're doing, say. The archives here are far too sparse to be of too much use. But I will see what I can. But I will see what I can do. And begins, I guess, trying to, within a night's research, try to identify at the very least with whatever information Haesong can glean from what, I guess, try to link the Black Iron Band to symbology and other forms of jewelry that are found within the fascia.
Sure.
If that's alright.
Peshmina sits down and starts leafing through as well. Like, starts on, like, the other end of, like, the stack of books.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, absolutely. If you would like to, you can make an investigation check with advantage, because Pejmina is begrudgingly helping you. And we'll see... Let's say for every... Well...
to be quite...
well, I'm going to see what you roll.
Yeah.
Because this is a bit of... Well, it's not a bit of a stretch. Like, you are following some solid logic lines, and we'll see where that gets you.
Okay. 18.
18's pretty
With
good.
advantage. Yes.
With advantage. Okay.
Because the first one was a 6.
Yeah, so... first of significance is material, black and iron. So iron as a material from a magical object perspective is typically used as a containment device. Iron shackles, not all iron shackles are iron just for the strength. Iron is a magic suppressant, among other things. But that also means that iron materials can be used to contain things. So any kind of iron, and specifically black iron, is a motif used in those sorts of magical objects, especially popular during the golden age of magic, which was like about a millennia and a half ago. That means that those kinds of artifacts and those motifs, because they were during the golden age of magic, tend to pop up a lot in architectural finds, or not architectural finds, archaeological finds, or tomb lootings, or things like that. So, like, if from looking at the mores, the like general rules and guidelines of, if an object is black and iron and carved into a snake, like the snake seems to be more of a tone, if you had to guess, than like any explicit, especially like deific symbology. It is probably either more literal than not, or is just a cool stylization. Would be like kind of if you from research at a library about an abstract description of an object.
Okay.
You also, while you are studying, you hear little quill scritches in your second notebook.
His son will pause for a second. Pashmina, has Pashmina fallen asleep yet?
No, Peshmina's, like, she's,
Awesome.
like, currently
Awesome.
reading.
Awesome. Freaking awesome. I am happy about this. Research buddy. Hassan will just pull out his notebook rather a bit tiredly, since he's been broken out of his focus now, and the lack of sleep is starting to catch up with him.
The writing you've gotten back from Toshi says simply, while it is correct that I am much too busy to attend to this myself, I did manage to assign it to one of our most recent interns at a pittance. I hope it's useful.
Oh,
Toshi.
Hassan writes back. It most certainly will. It most certainly will be. Thank you. Miss you. He draws, like, he thinks for a moment and tries to take a bit of Pashmina's, like, writing style and puts a little smiley face in it.
There's a so like writing vernacular back and forth. You see Toshi just like slowly write a long line because they're like thinking, not really sure what to say, and then they just like simply write "Miss you too," like begrudgingly.
Close the book. Okay.
Pashmina, I would also like you to roll an investigation check.
Yeah.
Not advantage, just on your own.
Yep. Boop. I got a 12.
You got a 12. Yeah, you note that among the deific books that Hassan has grabbed, one of them contains a list of major monastic orders in the continent as a whole. Like, historically, for the last, like, millennia or so.
Yeah. Is the Order of the Last Sunset among them?
No.
Oh. Interesting.
Nor is any of the symbology you are familiar with regarding it.
She closes the book and puts it in kind of like the discard, like put back pile.
Nothing useful in there.
Pashmina actually gets up and is like, I'm gonna stretch real quick. I'm getting a bit tired.
Yes.
We are starting. You've got some time yet, but you are approaching the point where if you want to do another round of study, it's gonna take all night, and you're gonna need to take a point of exhaustion to do it.
Right. Pashmina's gonna go off and try to find anything else about the Order of the Last Sunset.
Sure. Yeah. Where are you looking, and how?
Can Pashmina remember where the book that she just read came from?
Yeah, it's from the broader religious section, which is a lot about like various beliefs and ideologies and organizations surrounding those beliefs and ideologies.
Okay. She's gonna try and isolate books that are about religions from the west side of the continent, or more specifically, like that area.
Yeah.
Or just more monastic orders, if
Absolutely.
possible.
Yeah, you find a couple books about various monastic orders. Some books about that are like whole books about specific monastic orders. So
Right.
it takes a little bit, but you like can narrow down the section you are looking for. And as you start to like leaf and look through that stuff, you again a notable absence.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought might happen.
If you would like to, you can roll either roll religion to see if you can find maybe a more appropriate section for what you're looking for.
I would like to do that. 8.
8. You spend some time looking through various monastic orders, maybe trying to see if it's like a subgroup of a different ideology or some kind of relevant split. You also check various like just churches in general to see if something's in there, and you're not coming up with anything.
Interesting.
You also note that in contrast to the capital R religious, very much in line of like clerics and temples and the worship of various deities and those deities' histories in Gaiul, the monastic section in the publicly available archive is kind of lacking. So there may be more elsewhere, but from what is available to you, there's not much going on.
How much time until we start getting into like exhaustion territory?
I'm gonna go ahead and say like a couple hours. At this point, it's getting deep into the night. You've been up for close to 18 to 20 hours, and if you push yourself much longer, you're gonna have trouble resting. Unless you rest the next day.
Okay.
Hey, son, I get... will... essentially close the book on the reading that he was doing and say to Pashmina,
I'm not there.
is there any sort of thank you very much for the help for the past couple hours.
So Pashmina's not there.
Oh, right.
Which means in a different section of the library.
Yeah, I'm in this completely different area of the library.
Right, oh yeah, right. She went hunting. Okay. So in that case, having found out what he can found out, I do intend on pushing Hassan to his absolute limit with this.
All right.
Just is going to be looking in, I guess, a catalog of authors, last name Feyhu or Guiltleaf.
Okay. Yeah. Before we get to that, I'll ask secondarily, Pejmina, do you intend to stay as long as Hassan does?
Yes, and there are things I would like to do.
Okay. In that case, Hassan, go ahead and roll another investigation check for me without advantage, because Pejmina is no longer helping you.
Give me what I need, natural 20, bitch!
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry.
No, that's
I got
excellent.
excited.
Um,
So 24 for total.
I love that your crits come for, like, active book reading. I think that's very funny. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so over the course of the next 4 to 6 hours, because this is, and you knew this going into it, significantly more tedious. To attempt to... You find a lot of guilt leafs in particular. It's a family tree. And it's not just a family tree, it's a typical name of a specific region of elves. You note that much of the gilt leaf line is actually from the forested region near the Natskog. But a large portion of the entries are by a different gilt leaf. But you do manage to find several entries. Specifically, they appear to be academic journals from a willow gilt leaf. Those journals are about regional effects of creatures. It sounds like it is an officially published piece based on the findings you saw her writing about in the journal at the time with Feyhu. So there are a few different creatures that she mentions in this finding, reporting on, namely, vampires, physical, deities that have come to the mortal plane, and dragons. And you note that she refers to Mirage as a town by that name in Elvish. And specifically mentions a particular creature in that realm, specifically a blue dragon, but not under a named like gotta check my notes again. Kala, Kala.
Kala 1L?
Correct. And
okay.
Notes that while in Mirage, the regional effects were specifically as a result of the presence of Kala in the region. So any given dragon specifically within an area has strong effects on the environment around them. This is extremely observable, especially in the mountains, where red dragons can cause the spontaneous creation of molten volcanoes or other like miscellaneous lava flows. Green dragons are typified as making otherwise docile marshes into acidic swamps. This is also true of like bronze dragons along the coast tend to denote higher amounts of mineral deposits. It seems that whatever effect dragons have on the world around them creates a semi-permanent change to the material plane itself.
Okay.
And also noted in a footnote is that a lot of these, especially stories about environmental changes, when discussing chromatic dragons tend to be overtly negative, and when discussing metallic dragons tend to be overtly positive. But Willow Giltleaf's research denotes that there's no reasonable correlation between whether an environmental effect is positive or negative, depending on what type of dragon it is. Pashmina, what are you getting up to?
So, I'm gonna cast Disguise. Wait, okay, first of all, have I seen what the students of this academy look like?
Absolutely.
Do they wear a uniform of any kind? Okay.
They wear a version of the robes that the librarians do, but it's like specifically marked. It really does look kind of like, almost like graduation robes. They're just, the students are a different color.
I'm going to cast Disguise Self.
Oh no! Getting
I'm gonna cast Disguise Self to look like a student.
Okay.
And give myself like different features.
Yeah. You do that.
I just look like a random student. And then I'm going to. Is it clearly marked where like the restricted section or like?
Yep. There's like
area.
Specific entrances that have like a guard's the wrong word. It's just someone at a desk nearby who's like they check people in and out.
Okay. Pashmina's gonna go and try to get into the restricted area.
Yeah, you head towards the door. You approach this person at the desk, and they've got like their head down. They're writing in something. They're reading something. They're probably a grad student. They're clearly like part of the academy doing stuff, and they just like look up and just like, oh, okay, and they pull out another sheet that's got like this big list on it, and they're just like, all right, name.
A list, like
a check-in list.
Okay. Wilhelmina Smith.
Could you spell that for me?
Willomena. Smith. Smith.
I got Smith, thanks.
Of course.
Professor?
Oh no. Jenkins.
They look up at you. Jenkins?
Do you need me to spell that as well?
Roll persuasion for me. That's very good. That's really, really good. You know what? Go ahead and roll persuasion with advantage, because you are rattling this student who is so tired. Like, what? You don't know Professor Jenkins? Do you need me to spell Jenkins to you? You clod. Like,
actually, just like. Rolled so bad.
You love to see it. You love to see it.
I rolled. What was that? My best was a 7 just now.
Oh no!
That's unfortunate.
I'm so.
They look at you and they just go, if there is a Professor Jenkins, I am not aware of the class that they teach.
Maybe you're not advanced enough for it.
Get fucked!
They just look at you like, are you gonna go now, or do I need to call someone?
keep going at this point. Just do it. What could go wrong? What could go wrong?
I'll go for now, but we'll see what your higher-ups have to say about this. And then she just turns on her heel. Like,
Dean will hear about this.
We will.
I'm sorry.
Doesn't think you're malicious, but does just think you're a student who's trying to get places they're not supposed to.
And then as soon as she's out of view, she's just like, shit, and like ducks around a corner. It's like, okay, acting, not my strong suit. Dancer, I'm a dancer. Oh. What can I do? What can I do? Not much.
I mean, maybe you just need some help. Maybe another day.
Yeah. I don't think I have a good way out of this one. Yeah, I think I just need to... I just drop the disguise and go back to Hazel.
Who is rapidly translating Elvish.
Oh! What you doing there, buddy?
Oh, well, you see, I hit a wall in my research. I went about as far as I could in the research of the band, so I took a crack at looking up what our friend, Willow Giltleaf, I think you remember the gentleman whose journal we were reading.
Right.
And they have done many, many interesting articles. Paisan just like blinks a little bit and leans over. About the effects of magical beasts on surrounding lands. And specifically what concerns me is dragons. And how
How did we get from the snake bracelet to dragons?
Well,
I...
this is just an assumption. Well, at the moment, but here's the thing: Feihu has this innate desire, this innate interest in this black iron bracelet, this black iron bangle, which according to a few different sources, relates to motifs of imprisonment and of bondage. Furthermore, black iron was often used in objects was often used in the golden age of magic about a millennia and a half ago. We already know that our dear friend Feihu is quite much older than she appears, at least 2.5 centuries. And as far as I can, if we, I suppose, translate the motifs of imprisonment with the image of a snake, we could perhaps infer that the bracelet in question is meant to be was or at one point meant to be a prison for perhaps a draconic spirit of some sorts. Honestly, I don't know if that's the sleep talking. That's just what I'm getting right now.
Fishmina puts a hand on his shoulder and is like, I think this is what we call a rabbit hole, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not quite familiar with rabbits. I believe we call it a foxhole.
Either way, it might be a little too deep for one night.
I suppose. Sleep?
Yes, please.
Yes, it sounds... Slowly gets up. Sounds like a good idea. I have to put these books back, right?
Pashmina just shrugs.
There are drop-off carts.
Oh, yeah, I'll just drop them off. It's no worry. And his son begins, like, dropping off his carts. He's like, dropping off the books on the carts, and will slowly make his way, I guess. If Pashmina's following him.
Yeah, Pashmina's probably leading the way. She's like, come on.
Yeah, you disappeared for a while, everything. You find something good? He smiles.
Oh, I just had trouble finding the bathroom.
Oh, oh yes. Bathroom locations. Trust me, first few years working in the archive, bathroom troubles, terrible. Among the interns, we began passing off bottles to each other every once in a while. It was terrible.
Ew, hey, son. Gives your shoulder a little nudge.
He laughs a little bit and says, This is weird, but thank you for doing this for me.
Of course.
I haven't. This was the kind of thing my brother and I used to do after assignments were done years ago, when I was still living back home. This has made me very happy, even if this was official business. Thank you.
Of course. Anything for a friend.
Mm-hmm. And Hasan will sort of just stagger his way back to the...
Bedtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is early morning by the time the two of you get back to the two-headed peasant.
Suffer a point of exhaustion, then?
Yep.
Yay!
Which will be relieved when you rest, if you choose to rest the following day.
Where is...
I was gonna say, where do I mark
Exhaustion.
on my
Yeah.
thing?
Is it rare enough that they don't even have a marker for it?
Oh no.
Maybe they don't.
Conditions? Add active conditions? There we go, exhaustion.
Where? Is
I got
it in...
Here, I'll add it
Oh,
to your
did you-
sheets, and you should be able to refresh and see it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I see where it is.
By then, I'd imagine that Zoran and Loka are likely long asleep. Unless Loka is staying up so long with the show.
I mean, is it going on throughout the night?
It doesn't stop.
It
Yeah.
doesn't stop.
It
Yeah.
doesn't stop.
Just a very big rotating cast.
Yeah, well, they filter. It's a bunch of different acts. They just filter in and out because merchants are coming in
It's
and out all the
different
time.
actors, yeah.
Yeah, so it's different actors, different shows. They've got a 24-hour schedule of shows.
Oh, wow.
I think you find Loka passed out on the floor.
Puppy is curled up next to you.
Yeah.
No,
People
sorry,
are just walking
Beaver,
around
sorry.
him.
Puppy is curled up on your head.
Yeah.
Oh.
Still watching the show.
Good. Good for him.
I feel like Zoran would just try to actually help Aloka up and actually into bed. They would try.
I mean, he shouldn't weigh that much.
No, small.
6 in strength.
Oh, that's right.
You might need
strength.
someone to help you.
I might ask like a more like
Well,
tough looking patron around. Be like, look, I'll buy you a drink.
I
Or
think
3.
at least one of the staff members is willing to help
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Get Loco back to the room.
I'll tip them as like a hey, thanks for the help, buddy. So I'm gonna give this guy 3
Gotcha.
open.
Is the staff expecting Pashmina and Hasan? Like, did you tell them to direct them up to the
Oh
room?
yes, I would have.
okay, cool.
Awesome. Then yeah, you are let up. You
I
have
would
your
have left one of the keys with like the person running the main desk. Be like, look out for these two. It's gonna be like hard to miss them.
Yeah, excellent. So yeah, when you get in, the hostess hands you notes the two of you, shuffles over and is just like, a Zoran, has opened a room for the two of you, if you're familiar.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful.
It's just up the stairs to the left. I can guide you to it if you would like. Here's your key.
Oh,
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You as well. All right. Bed.
Bed.
When you open the door, there are 4 beds. It is a large room. It's a large, nice room.
Oh, I suppose there were.
Did they not go to bed? Well, no, certainly they.
They had.
So, did they enter the room?
Yeah.
Like, you, actually, walk in? Okay.
Yes.
So, there's something that I meant to do, I just forgot to say because there's arc that happened. Zeron would have cast alarm and put it at their doorway.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Alarm doesn't make an audible sound.
It's just for Zeron.
Yeah.
Just for
Oh,
Zeron.
Okay.
The big thing is that it wakes you up and it makes a little noise in the back of your head. So yeah, you're
So
Zeron. Your
30
little
minutes
alarm goes off.
later, there's Zeron kind of shuffles over and
Yeah,
You get no response from Hassan.
Ashmin opens the door. Oh,
the gods, what time is it?
the wee hours. Good morning.
Eventful, I see.
Rather. You can go back to bed. You don't have to stay up.
Going to do that. Glad you made it here, all right. Have a fair evening, morning, whatever time it is now. Just a really half-hearted.
Ashmin will shut the door and finally collapse into bed herself.
Bedtime.
Bedtime.
All right. That's probably a good place to call it for tonight.
Super.
Okay.
If we are okay with that.
Yeah.
All right, let's quick go through Stars and Wishes. Thank you very much. That was a super cool session, by the way. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yes. I hope the lore didn't take up too much time and ruin anybody's time.
It's
lore.
fine. I love lore. Lore good. Lore good.
Lore good. I'm gonna go middle out. I'm just gonna keep, much like Vampire. I'm gonna keep
Changing it up.
trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
figure out a consistent pattern of randomization, and it's never gonna work. Matt, you're first.
Me.
Stars and Wishes. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I enjoyed myself this game.
Good.
Aw.
I just got to be very funny. I was appreciative that everybody was receptive to it.
I love
Excuse me.
Loka. I love Loka's shenanigans. It's great.
That's really all he's full of, and it is great. Thank you. The other thing, I thank you to Eli for going on that little adventure there, because I knew it. I didn't know it was a dragon, but I knew there was some shit up with Feyhue. So thank you for going and investigating that. And I was on mute, but when I was listening, I was just like, "Oh, son of a bitch! I knew it." Wishes. Combat wishes. I think so.
I would like to see a combat encounter or high tension encounter.
Yeah, I'll go with high tension too. That's the half the reason why I enjoy these games, though, is because I get to wallop on people.
You picked the right class.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think that's it for me.
Awesome. Zeron. And by Zeron, I mean Caroline, because you're not your character. Your character's not.
Hello. That's me. Stars. I really like that. I'm really happy we're finally in Althra.
Yeah.
I like the city. I like what I did with it, I'm gonna be honest. Good. It was cool. Stars. I really like people are just questioning my character. I like that. I like that a lot. I like the whole thing of just like identifying the lantern. Because y'all are like, what the fuck? Because that's understandable. That was good. I like that a lot. Wishes. There's one thing I actually want to do next session that I'm going to DM to you, Colt, just because it's something that I think they would want to do.
Absolutely.
So we'll see.
Shoot me a massage.
So I will do so once it's all over. 2, also combat. I think it would be really fun to have some fun little spells that I want to do.
Yeah.
Also, I just really like rolling on the funny table. I'm a be real.
Funny table.
I really like rolling on the table.
Do love the funny
it's
table.
Fun. It's so fun. I wish I could share this table.
It's full of spoilers.
It kind of is, which is such a shame because it's so good.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Is it the sort of spoiler that would prove to us that in fact you are that missing prince?
Oh no, not at all. For other things.
Heisan is like full disclosure, like 100% wants to know what the fuck you are and what the fuck you've gotten yourself into.
Understandable. There's also a fun thing. Ask.
I mean,
this is true.
He wants to, but the last time he did, you were like, maybe another time.
I mean, lycanthropy? Question mark.
Yeah.
How does lycanthropy work in a world with 2 moons?
There's regular.
Listen,
there's regular
why do you
disform and
think
then
they
mega
have beards and
disform.
tails at all times? I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
It's 24-hour lycanthropy.
That's what I'm saying. But I really wish I could. I can't wait to show you all this table when like I'm able to because it's good. But there are things in it that which is a shame. But yeah, I want to roll on it more. I like it. I like it. It's fun. That's that. Thanks.
Excellent. Heisan. And by Heisan, I mean Eli.
Yep. I'm happy I get to do more lore. I like lore. I like conspiratorial stuff about our quest giver. It's really fun trying to figure out all the bullshit behind these little innocuous quests and items. I like it when something small turns out to be something big. It's fun. Seeing how everything connects to one another. And I like being able to craft a stupid conspiracy theory, like the black iron bracelet is actually a dragon prison, which I half believe honestly right now.
Yeah.
No, and I like the way that it interacts with. I'm really happy with the way that there's a sort of focus on how just with Willow Guiltleaf, or like the indication of where with Guiltleaf is that we're focusing a bit on the way these sorts of powerful creatures affect the world around them in, I guess, just the larger impact that they have. And kind of fits in with the themes of the Phasia in general, which is just a land that is constantly being under the barrage of various meteorological hazards and other other dangers that are beyond everybody's control. I think it's fun.
I love me a good theme. Excellent. Any wishes?
Oh, wishes, yes.
All stars, no wishes.
I do have wishes. Is the thing.
I do like to see tension. I want to see tension. Furthermore, I do want to be able to get Loka in a bit more with the Loka in a little bit more. We don't get enough Loka. I want more Loka, and that's probably my fault. I want to what's the word I'm looking for? I'd like to try to just give them more opportunities as a player to interact with everybody else and what Heisan is doing, if possible, or like I would have loved, in retrospect, to see what kind of chaos Loka could possibly cause in the library, if any.
I mean,
that would be.
Is there anything stopping us from going back? Is there anything else we need to look at?
If it helps, I fully intend. Like, Pashmina is going back tomorrow.
So, I'm just saying, there's opportunity still.
Just bring Loka around. Bring your pet in. What are they going to say no to you?
They better not.
My emotional support beaver.
Hi, I'm permanently wet and I would like to touch your books.
Arrives in your library, what do you do?
Asterisk dampens your pages, asterisk.
Yeah.
I hope you don't mind. My beaver got peckish, so I fed him one of the books.
My beaver's been eating the history section, sorry.
Shoot.
I don't know, he saw the brother, he just kind of went for it, and I don't stop him. I mean, if I stop him from eating, he gets angry. He gets scary.
A preview of next session. Cool.
Next time.
Next time on Dungeons and Dragons. I did rename the campaign in D&D Beyond to Gaiul: Rise of Dragons.
God.
Perfect.
Only on CW.
It's what I was already calling it on YouTube. My D&D campaigns are a CW show. You're right.
Okay.
Wow, that was really good. That one really got me.
Tell you what, they don't even get canceled though. So, you know. I've never dropped a campaign halfway through, and I'm so proud of that.
Step up, CW.
Well, I haven't dropped one of our campaigns halfway. I have dropped a couple campaigns halfway through. One because someone created Buddy the Elf as a character, and I was like, you know what? I'm actually done GMing.
See, that's fair. That's completely fair.
I went, you know what? I'm not DMing for this group anymore, actually.
That's very funny.
The other one was just because I was DMing for 9 players.
Yeah, I'll do it.
And we got tired.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Good lord.
Hananan.
Yeah.
Stores and Warships.
Stars. Stars are... I love that we have a inquisitive lore master character in a campaign where almost everyone has secrets and backstory. Like,
what do you mean? What could you possibly mean?
No, you're right. Zaron is
the most open character I've ever made.
Hey, just wait until you hear about Puppy's backstory.
Dude, I'm
It's
telling you,
fucking wild.
this puppy has killed like 27. I'm telling you.
This puppy's
right
a
now,
war criminal.
I'm telling you.
Puppy is wanted.
is the good one.
You thought Loka was the pirate? Nah.
Yeah, no,
No.
Puppy's actually
No.
a woobified war criminal. Puppy, you don't want to know what Puppy's done.
Oh,
Arsonist in his spare time. That's a big star. Other stars. Lots of good rolls today. I feel like there were some really fun and interesting rolls in this one. What else? I had fun working on this board. I want to do this more. I want to work on the boards more.
I will allow you to do so as it pertains to the knowledge you are allowed to have.
Yes.
Very good.
Wishes. I would also like. I feel like we're due for a high octane moment, whether that's combat or something else. Just something exciting. And also, I agree with Eli. I want to find a way to get Loka active, and I think we can do it. It just so happened that this time, Loka was around, and that's nice.
I mean, Loka did plenty, but I want to see. I want to include them more.
Yeah, I want to give you chances to do things.
They will come.
And as always,
I do not
Matt, I'm here if you want to scheme.
I was like, endeavor. Endeavor was the word I was thinking
Endeavor.
of. Endeavor to give Loka more opportunities.
If we want to retroact some secrets, I'm all more than willing. I have ideas if you need ideas. Yeah, and then me. My stars and wishes. So many stars this session. Pejmina rolling 7 on advantage for a very fun deception check.
Very good.
That was very good.
Very
Do you need me to spell that? That was such a good line.
Can I give away some of my experience?
Sorry. Also that. Everyone get 250 experience.
Yeah.
For this session.
Perfect.
And for reaching Althra. You've made your first minor objective.
Yay!
Which is fun. And you do so that's for reaching Althra. Giving the tools back to the Gem Cutter Society is another 100 XP.
Oh wait, okay, so
So that's 350 total.
Okay.
I think that's okay for now. I think I distributed the 50 between Zoran and Hassan for coming up with the two-headed peasant.
Yes, we already got that.
Yeah. Then that'll be good for now.
it's a big old chunk.
Yeah. And like these are minor stuff. Like if y'all do a big milestone thing, y'all are probably gonna get a lot of XP.
Oh yeah.
So there's that. That's rewards. Do you need me to spell that? It was very good. Just general. I like we've said collectively, we didn't get a lot of Loka, but what Loka we got was very good this session. That was a lot of fun. Zoran hiding out in the lantern, throwing the sandal at Zoran immediately after popping out.
As soon as
Super
he came out,
good.
too. Very good.
I really enjoyed playing that weird librarian. That was fun.
I can't wait to see more of them.
Yeah, they're a recurring character now because they have to be.
Good.
I was just thinking of like, what's the voice of a librarian who has been here for 20 years and is sick of it? It's like the most tired being in the world. You're getting down, Bubby. I'm sorry. The back and forth between Zoran and the other characters was super fun. Those are those scenarios that I think are really fun to play out in roleplay. Because, like, that scenario I think would have been so much more boring if it was, like, insight check, deception / also insight. Like, I just don't think that would be as interesting as just, like, actually playing it out and having a conversation and having conflict as characters. I think that's fun and interesting. And also more nuanced. It leaves room for intrigue in fun ways. I love generating lore. It's fun. It's a good. It's the thing I feel like I am the most confident about improvising on the spot because it becomes true, and then I just stick to that for the rest of the game. And that was fun. I enjoy doing that all the time.
Wait, how did I miss this?
Wishes.
Okay. There
I want to play more. Always.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
No, and
No
I'm
worries,
glad
it
we
happens.
managed to get it together, and it obviously wouldn't have been the same without everyone. But I wish for the continued flexibility to be able to schedule, even if it takes a few weeks. Because even if it doesn't happen super consistently, happening at all is good, and I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it for me. Also, I fucking love this board. You did such a... I did a lot of the core layout for...
Yeah, you did, like, basically
this.
the fucking legwork to make this happen, and then I just went through and, like, beautified.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
But yeah, this market... We should post this as a slab on, like, Tails Tavern. Because people would be super into this. Awesome. All right. I'm going to stop recording.